On today's episode of Let's Talk FGO, 29 million downloads in Japan, ongoing Ryoma shenanigans in Guda Guda town, the literal town of Guda Guda. Also, stay tuned to the end, because we're going to yell about the Video Game Awards nominees, as we do.
I got shit to yell about.
We're going to be yelling. Anyway, all that and more on today's episode of Let's Talk FGO. I am one of your hosts. I am the party leader, Omega. With me, as always, the party's enforcer, Lucky.
You can't see me, but I flex. And I want everyone to know, I hope you're enjoying Fate Grand Order, aka We Got Midgar at Home. And while we here at Studio Mega like to bring you the latest in FGO-related news and memes, we will be talking about current and future events for both the JP and EN version of the game, so anyone not wanting to spoil should declare they are the evil mastermind.
Also, hey, cross-promotion. If you are getting those Final Fantasy VII vibes from this event, we are currently streaming every Monday Final Fantasy VII Remake. So, you know, if you're thinking about it, check us out. But alright, with the intros done, that means it's time for me to shout out our patrons real quick. Because this episode is brought to you by our patrons like Adam DeHart, Blackest OG, Call Me Zed, Carlos, Dragon, Flighty Sicebird, Jeremy Vasquez, JDV9000, Justin Fay, John Sandoval, Starlight, Legendary Boss Hunter, Liam Kessler, Regent Raptor, Rise of Kenji, Rogue Robin, Charvor, Sean Pyre, some guy named Bob, and During the Crow. If you like what we do and want to see us do more, consider supporting us on Patreon. You can get access to episodes early and lots of other goodies, and it really helps us out. Thank you for your support, as always.
Thank you.
Thank you. I was bobbing my foot along to the invisible rhythm there while I'm holding my microphone, and I was like, wait, nope, stop it, stop twitching. I don't think that's gonna fuck with the mic quality too much, but anyway. That does mean that with the double intros out of the way, and with a solid 2 minutes, we can move into our first segment, where we check in with everybody's favorite Kohai, Mash.
Senpai, 起きてください.
Because it's time for Wake the Fuck Up Senpai, a regular segment for pro tips, which I always make sure to give a little bit of buffer before we say it. Though, YouTube doesn't really bother us about the ad relevancy of Let's Talk FGO lately. It's usually only if we have a really spicy thumbnail. I guess podcasting is just the Wild West, because this technically does go in like a podcast feed. Anyway, pro tips. I have a couple for you.
Yay.
They're very simple. First, because this was an incident for people who did not realize there was a story, a minimum story requirement for this event, and there's no rerun. BT dubs. At least not currently. Don't forget about clearing LB6 to do Tunguska in December. Like, if you can't do Guda Guda now, you're gonna have a bad time in December, because you got a whole nother lost belt to clear, and it's the longest fucking one of them. So, if you're not on that grind set, you probably should be. Also, as always, we talk about other stuff going on. The Anime NYC panel, I believe, will be late tomorrow, as of the time we're recording this, kind of in the afternoon. So, it'll probably still be after this episode goes live on YouTube. Obviously, in case you guys, can't figure out how the timing works when we release this. If it's being released on YouTube, that means we recorded it a while ago. So, we won't have you those updates just yet, but keep your eye out for some of that. I've already seen some people posting pictures of, Nissan out in the wild at Anime NYC, yep. So that's pretty cool. So expect some Anime NYC news, probably get details on what our Thanksgiving banners are going to be. Hopefully get some slick quality of life. But also, this will be the last bit of Anime NYC news out of FGO we get in November, because they've announced they're going to move it to August, I believe?
Yes.
Yeah, so that'll be kind of interesting, because honestly, I think FGO has a pretty long history with Anime NYC. They've done, they did, when they did the USA tour, they did a stop there. They usually have these big panels and conversations. I believe we got some early quality of life announcements from Nissan already, last year. So it'll be interesting to see how that paces out, because, I say, like, we're probably going to hear about Thanksgiving stuff at Anime NYC, because that's always been perfectly placed for FGA to do those announcements. So, I'm not entirely sure why this actually... Somebody brought this up in chat. Not entirely sure why this one's locked to LB 5.5. There may be some more in the climax. In general, I think it's just a difficulty check. Yeah, like Robin said. I think they just wanted to do a higher difficulty event and encourage you to clear more stories, so they just put a checkpoint here. There may be some stuff in the close, though. It is definitely, obviously, like, the furthest along in the Guda Guda timeline. But alright, there's your pro tips. That means it's time for Records from the Throne, our regular achievement topic. That's right, we have some stuff here.
We have some stuff. And even though this is on Records from the Throne, I will say, against my better judgment, I bought an 88 pack and did manage to get an Okuni. Damn you cute and feisty girls with Mafia in the background. Ugh. Just hearing, I can't remember the character name. It's like
Zanzabuto.
something. Zanzabuto. Just going Ma or Mafi. I just keep waiting for the
Yeah. Oh, it's pretty rad. I'm glad they got him in like this too. Tucked him away.
Mm-hmm.
Also, fun fact, watch my wanted to learn more about what the joke is with Zanzaburo. Reference to Nagoya Sansaburo, a recurring character in Okuni's work.
I will also say, I have protected Mysterious RANMARU X precious, adorable, beautiful smile. It is amazing. My life is a little bit better because of it.
The smile now currently graces your screen as you watch this. Look at it. Look at it!
Also, super important to me, 10-10-10 on Bargus. Those bells in shop were just what I needed to hit 180.
It's a good shop.
It's a good shop.
Well, we'll switch back over to me. So I threw some tickets. I had quite a few saved up, both from logins and just monthlies and stuff. Threw some tickets to the Okoni banner. No luck on that front specifically, but I did get some of the CEs. My literal first ticket was the 3-star Medusa CE, so, we're winning. And I was able to get both my Summer Nobu and my Izo to NP5. They were both NP4 previously. Got one of each. My Mori Nagiyoshi was already NP5. But we're here. And much like Lucky, also RANMARU X Smile Protect. Thank you, WXP. And we don't really have any evil in that case, so we're going to keep on keeping on.
Woo!
Though I've saved up, like 3 or 4 rolls for Roma's banner, so get ready for that to go terribly.
I'm probably going to spend more money, even though I shouldn't.
Yeah, it's going to be an expensive time, too. That reminds me, though, I need to double-check I think PlayStation will have started their discount on yearly memberships, as they do. Need my re-up. If not today, then sometime in the upcoming days. Gotta get my juice.
I think I'm still good for a while on mine. I'll have to double-check.
Okay, it is already up? Then This is the month I usually renew around Black Friday, so I'll have to get into the store and do. Also, I can say, at least for purposes of recording, if anybody is hearing me in a particular channel that is on your end, I am looking at Audacity and I am appearing evenly in the left and right channels. I thought about overcomplicating that and I was like, wait, no, I can literally visualize the sound wave. It's right there. So if it is, it's probably coming through either through some kind of Discord shenanigans or on the back end. I wanted to say, speaking of back end, but that doesn't make any sense as a segue. Did you finish your master missions? There's no back end anyway. It's the absolute front end. It's right there in the main menu. Anyway, to complete your master missions this week, you need to perform 30 FP summons, defeat 3 of each of neutral, chaotic, and lawful servants, defeat 15 enemies with the heaven attribute, then defeat 30 enemies with the hatchet attribute. Guess what? Do the event. It's really that simple. Also remember to spin up your, FP summons for those CEs. Go for it.
You can do it.
Yeah. Hell, I did it before we started when I was checking what the master missions were. Now, moving on to the grams that are skelly. Obviously, as I mentioned before, FGO is going to have a panel at Anime NYC. We'll probably get a tease for the Ryoma banner, maybe? Like an announcement of the date, perhaps? They might bust that out. Or not. And we do also have to, because it would be a few days early, that might also be what they do with the Mao raid-up we're supposed to get, because it was supposed to be a rotation between Maonobu and Lancer Ryoma, and obviously with Pity that doesn't work. I don't think it should be tonight, because it was the event started Monday, unless they've announced it's tonight already, in which case my wanted will once again be delayed, because I didn't notice anything telling me it's tonight. But we're not a week out yet. Usually that's when we do new banners, but if they're doing them in like a 0.5 rotation, they might have fired it a little early. It's all a little weird with the addition of Pity. Stuff moves up. Anyway, other than, was it at 5 days in JP? I thought it was a week. They might scooch it out. We'll have to see. I mean, it's pretty obvious that he's here in this event, so I guess we will see. I kind of feel like if they're doing it early, they would still announce it at the panel, so it might be tomorrow night at this rate. Anyway, speculating about exactly what's going to happen in NAS side, most of our news is from JP, because JP is actually doing their transitional period. We're in between events right now. So you got a couple of things. Numero uno, Ordeal Call new missions. This is the 4th block of new missions, started the 15th going until the 30th. There are 2 new Bleached Earth free quests. They're really hard or something. I think, honestly, all the Bleached Earth quests are supposed to be pretty hard. They're supposed to be endgame content. Get that grind out. Also, Leyline Stones are back. You get 3 for logging in. I think they have some more in the MP shop. I'm presuming this means there's going to be some kind of story check soon. Like, either there will be a new event in later this month or in December, which requires, story clearance, or we will be getting that next Ordeal Call chapter soon. There's also some limited time and permanent master missions for St. Courts. The permanent special missions involve, clearing story pips and stuff, so just keep on that story. We also have some LB4 themed banners. Banner number 1 is Arjuna Altar, coming back once again. Lakshmi and Asclepius on that banner, so that one's pretty good. And then permanent servant banner, all of them are permanent. It's Jinako, Lakshmi as well, and then William Tell. So, a couple of LB4 themers. Yes, as usual, I get it. I'm not gonna, we've got some people who vented in the comments before. I'm not gonna tell them, to call it off. You got a lot of time invested in FGO, I'm sure, if you've been playing JP for a long time, and you just need to, let it out. It does kind of feel like things are a little stretched thin at the end of the year, but overall, this has been a real banger year for FGO. Especially the front half and summer, lots of really good shit. But I feel like whenever they announce Ordeal Call missions, people just goop out because they're just they're free quests that are good for you, but also they're really hard and you can only do so many today. So people gooped out for a full day, and then it was oh, 1 million downloads campaign. Well, there's stuff to do. Not for very long, but hopefully they won't take the whole half a month before they do something else. But speaking of that, 29 million downloads, getting closer to that 30 mark. Let's start at the 17th, going on until the 30th. Log in for 10 of things, as you always do, plus some cumulative things. They've got extra Mana Prism Shop inventory, so not only can you get your normal extras of some EXPs and stuff, they're also selling 5 extra tickets in the shop and other fun stuff. Reporting on this is a little laggy, the wiki hasn't updated and stuff, so I'm not exactly sure how this works, but the way it's phrased in our news hook is there is a new specifically CE shop section, which is now also where they're putting old CE, so it sounds like they're doing another sub-filter in shop specifically for CEs, rather than have it be the Mana Prism shop, so that, they can separate all that stuff out. Also, something that people are super excited for, they've done a quality of life update. There are now new CE-focused friends list filters. So when looking through your, friends list servants, you can you can apply your CE filtering requirements to your friends list, I believe, is how it works. So it can make it a lot easier to find people with specific CEs you want or need. And in general, like I said, I don't have the full grasp because I can't, make too much of the graphics while they're all in Moonspeak, but people are very happy about it, so good. We've also got a period of double suck and half AP embers. Get you on that grind set, brother. And to celebrate, of course, we have a lovely banner of Melusine and Barghest, plus some new 4-star CEs, which will be permanent when this is over. And guess what? It's the 4-star CEs I know you all fucking hate. They're replacing stuff like, Art of the Poisonous Snake and, Art of Death, and Gentle Affection with some new CEs that have similar effects. So those are going to... Okay, yes, they have. It's called Remember Essence. So yeah, they have a new tab for buying old CEs. Good. Organization is good. But yeah, so got some new CEs. The CEs will be released first on the banner. Then they will be permanent after the banner ends. Got a new Melusine and Barghest raid up, which is good. All in all, like I said, not enough to keep everybody's attention forever, but you've got a little bit of a wombo combo of stuff you can do. You've got a reason to log in, and you've got a few banners. So I'm not entirely sure. I don't think JP has clarified exactly what they're doing next. I know they called their shot with the Grailfront, right?
Yeah, which was a thing.
Yes, which was a full-blown thing. Had quite a lot of story, including some NPC characters who have not yet been released, and, I'm sure Lysenko will save for the next time they want to be at number 1 on the app list. I can be a little jaded. I think it's still important that when people are like, FGO is dead, every time FGO releases, a brand new SSR servant, they shoot back to number 1 in profits, or, number 2. It's just that I understand that those peaks and valleys can get a little frustrating if you're, used to playing every day. This is why you can play other things. But, I'm also gonna be I'm sure that Lysenko does save some servant designs for just, we need to do something. Let's break some glass. Let's get some people hyped. But that's gonna be it for our little old Skelegorams.
Alright then. With that, let's move on over, focus on over here, and let's talk FGO Mailbag, the segment where we read what you have to say and comment accordingly. Even though I posted this on time, which is right after right after the show, we only got 5. There was only 3 earlier, but then I yelled at people. Okay, I didn't actually yell at people. I just, pinged every single fucking person in the Discord and be like, hey, mailbag. And we did get a couple more. So, yay. But, we have no reason to delay, so let's begin right now. So, starting us off, we have the Master who is braving the storm. They say, hey, Lucky Omega, I hope you're both enjoying the event as much as I am, loving Izumo's role in the story and the small boost in endorphins with completing detective missions. Also, the context behind my alias is that I'm playing a new gacha called Reverse in 1999, a gas lamp fantasy game that has the plot with a time reversing phenomenon called the Storm, where the world's time is counted down from 1999, just before the new millennium. Oh, and for a fun tidbit, one of their highest rated units is a literal doggo. This will be all, but I hope you're both having a safe night. Well, thank you. My night is going okay. I am full of decent Mexican food. I decided to go a little bit higher on carbs and calories, but less on the industrial waste, so that's a lot better for me. And I mentioned this earlier in our Discord, but mark the calendar today, November 17th, 2023, I decided to turn on my heater. It is, actually, I think it's a little bit warmer now. I think it's like in the 40s. It's like in the low 40s where I am.
It's quite literally chilling. My thermometer device still says that it's 69 degrees, partially cloudy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Also, with the Reverse game, I have heard of Reverse 1999. I do know that it's been in production a while with closed betas and whatnot, and people have been excited for it. Unfortunately, I'm playing way too many gacha games for me to really consider picking anything else, especially that I have anime, books, and like genuine video games I actually want to get to. Like, just today, I got 4 light novels and Internights, the physical release. I bought the digital release way back when, but then they told me they were doing a physical release, and I was like, son of a bitch, they got me.
Well, tell me how Eternights is, and I'll put it on my fucking backlog, which isn't getting any shorter. Damn you.
If I remember correctly, I do believe that Eternights did actually review fairly well.
I believe so.
I believe so. Not amazingly well, but I've heard a lot of people say it's quite good and can be emotional.
I got a few things to catch up on, but I have to, like I said, I have to chew through the backlog. Like, I want to play Spider-Man 2, but I'm like, to me, I'm like, buddy, I know you bought it for Spider-Man Remastered, but you bought the Miles Morales, like, separate disc. You should probably play through, like, the 1.5 and then go to 2. You paid for it. And I'm just like, oh, you're right, me. I did pay for that.
No, Lucky is still working on Star Ocean First Departure R because I want to play Second Ocean. Because I love that game.
So, it's Mailbag. We're diverting. Right now, my main, like, video game playing is, I guess I don't know why I'm in, like, a fucking grind set, but I am. Like, there's a Yu-Gi-Oh! Event going on right now in Master Duel that I'm grinding, because it involves some new decks, so I'm having fun. I'm sure it'll stop being fun, soon, but for now. So I'm doing that a little bit every day, just, to keep up on it, and then also I'm in a fucking, as I constantly do, I'm in a 14 phase, logging in the middle of the night to do, dailies to level up on my DPS classes who are lagging behind. Now that I've gotten my Gunbreaker to 80, I'm like, oh shit, I should get, Paladin to 80 so that, sometime in January probably, actually I don't even know, I don't really know how long Shadowbringers is. We're, like, on quest level 75, so, like, hypothetically halfway through, but we all know not really halfway through.
No, you'll be 80 for a little bit before you actually hit the end.
Yeah, so, like, but I do kind of want to do Paladin for Endwalker, because that's the trailer class there. Also, nominally I like Paladin. Having to try it out again, I'm like, God, I have so many buttons. Why did they give me so many gosh darn buttons? I have, like, 3 magic attacks. 35, 45-ish, probably about right. But, like, yeah, so I'm just in there, I'm doing stuff, I'm fucking hanging out with the Ananta.
Yeah. I don't have the image ready. Son of a bitch. Hang on.
Support us on Patreon at any level. You can look at our Patreon chat where you can figure out what image Lucky eventually posts.
Snack. Yes, do I organize my folders with memes just so that's yes. Yes, I do. Here, let me just show you all what's in my snake fucking folder here, just because I fucking can.
I used to be a lot more loaded up with stuff, but oh my god, it's a Snek Skyrim meme. How is that still relevant? Oh, I think I have that fucking Snake A.
This one's my favorite, by the way.
But yeah, so like I have not been doing my grind. Like I haven't finished Phantom Liberty, even though I really should do that
Oh my god.
because it's fucking sick, and I like haven't even gotten into like the half of the stuff. But
I
also,
read something interesting that I'm like, wait, no, I need to go do other stuff first. Then come back.
Yeah. But like, I want to finish up Armored Core. I want to finish. I got through like the first 2 chapters of 2 separate Like a Dragon games this year. I need to finish both of them. I need to go back and do Ishin, and also, especially, that's fucking relevant to the discussion we're gonna have later about FGO. But also, like I said, I got like 2 chapters into Lost Judgment, and I'm like, damn, I need to get into that because I would also at some point like to try out because it is, speaking of renewing my PlayStation Plus membership, 7 is free on PlayStation Plus, so I would like to play 7 so I can be ready to play Infinite Wealth sometime in the year 2025 at this point, probably.
Oh, probably. I'm still back on Kiwami 2.
Also, because Like a Dragon 8, Infinite Wealth comes out at a very bad time for me because it's right up there in the clusterfuck.
They just keep adding to the clusterfuck, too.
Yeah, no, but I've my pre-order for Rebirth is in. I'm buying the physical, deluxe edition. And I'm sure that once that arrives, it's going to consume roughly the 100 and something hours they said it would for full completion, if not more.
I haven't even read a Grand Blue Fantasy. I got fucking Persona 3 Reloaded. I got Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. I got Unicorn Overlord. There has been news out on Twitter and other social media that the Peggy board has put the Dragon Dogma 2 release at, like, what did they say, March 22nd?
Right. Yeah, March. Oh, painful.
I'm just like,
we will talk about this, but I feel like I feel like somebody in the games development sphere looked at the nominees being circulated for Best RPG and were like, oh, we can make this even worse next year. We can fuck this up even more.
We got Dawn Trail in the summer. We have, there's something in January, but I can't remember what it is off the top of my head.
January, one of those is Tekken 8.
Tekken 8,
let me pull up the
Tekken 8, Tekken 8 is, it's not in my oeuvre of interest, but I do know a lot of fighting game nerds are vibing for it.
Yeah, people are very hype. I think it made one of the nominees for like most
anticipated. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. January 26th is Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. So it is.
That's what it was. Sorry.
That is also for my fellow Ace Attorney heads out there. That's the Apollo Justice Ace Attorney trilogy, and I think that's most of it. February literally starts with Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, and then on the second day is Persona 3 Reload. Helldivers 2 also comes out in February.
I can live without that one day one. I'm gonna be real.
Also, it's like February 8th, so what we do is we hope and pray that Sony does a day and date, because it's technically a first-party game.
Maybe they will.
Banisher's Ghost of New Eden is set for February 13th. That game looks interesting, but might not be a day one buy for me. I didn't realize that was that soon. Star Wars The Dark Forces remaster is 28th. That's like literally just for like me and Marth and like maybe another 4 or 5 people in our Discord. Dark Forces is sick though, guys. Check it out.
I don't know, maybe when this remake comes out.
Yeah, and then the 29th is Rebirth on the leap day. March is, I can see why they would go for Dragon's Dogma 2 in March, because March is a little open. It's only got 2 games so far, that are official. Unicorn Overlord March 8th, and then Princess Peach's Showtime on the 22nd. So they got some room in there. But still, yeah, no. The first 3 months are going to be a clusterfuck.
Sorry if I gassed aloud there. I am playing Nikkei's Memory of Goddess right now. It is being piped to all you patrons out there if you are interested.
We're going to get Kingdom Hearts Missing Link. Oh my god, wait. What if Jeff Keighley has secured a new Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer for the Video Game Awards?
I don't know. I look at things and I feel like Square Enix is in this weird position at the Game Awards. I don't know. I'm gonna talk about it.
Yeah, we'll get into it. I mean, I think if Square had some jams, they'd be ready to go. Especially because I assume, did they say what platforms 4 is going to be on? That might be multi-platform because they went that way for 3. But
I'm pretty sure it's going to be multi-platform. There's no reason for it not to be.
Yeah, but I could see them being enticed to play ball, but I could also see them not doing it because they have a very chaotic relationship, I think, with the Game Awards. But I strongly suspect somebody from Square will be in the building to accept the award when Rebirth inevitably wins most anticipated game.
If it doesn't win 16's best soundtrack, I'm gonna be livid.
Also, I mean, yes. Yeah, honestly, 14's also won its, best ongoing and community awards a lot, so
yeah, no,
I don't know.
that's fine.
I could see Yoshi P and Soken being in the building. We'll get into it later. We shouldn't rehash because this is only our first mailbag question. We will literally be talking about all of this later.
All right. Let us moveth on it. This next one comes from the Tyrant King, contemplating on whether to use his Ami points on the expensive Raiko or Kama figure. Ooh, choices. Lucky says as he looks over to his Kama figure, still in box because he doesn't know what to do with it and doesn't want to get dirty. Okay, so before I read this, I'm going to just tell you this is why I have to sometimes double check. I looked at the alias they gave. My first thought was Holiday Inn Lucky. Apparently, I am now a hotel franchise. A question. Hey, Holiday Ham Lucky and Thanksgiving Turkey Omega with Anime NYC moving to August next year. How do you think it'll affect announcements used for Anime NYC for announcement of trailers for upcoming projects / events? Since AX is in July, and I think Crunchy Expo is sometime around there. Also, bonus question, what is your ultimate Thanksgiving plate? Anyway, that's it for me. Sending turkey vibes away. And hope you have a great Thanksgiving and evening. Omega, what that sound wave look like, by the way?
Let me see if it's still on the board. Honestly, I think it, despite the fact that it did not sound normal, I think the sound looks normal. I'm looking at the sound wave, and I can't tell. It's just in there.
Stealth turkey. Anyway. Anyway, my personal opinion on your figure dilemma, Kama. Always. I love Raiko. I love my mama Raiko. But, Kama's a tier higher.
Also, according to Wikipedia, Crunchyroll Expo is held during August/September.
Jesus,
over the Labor Day weekend.
Why are they putting these all so close together?
I think they're trying to get the Labor Day weekend. Crunchyroll's in San Jose. Anime NYC is obviously in NYC, so it's one of those things where are you gonna travel? Across the country kind of a thing. Also, I mean, no, I'll say it. Full offense to the state of California. I live in Florida. I understand how it is. I wouldn't ask people to come here in August either. Do you want to go to California in August?
I think every year we hear problems with overheating, too many people, and body heat.
AX is always because that's in July. That's usually July 4th weekend. That's fucking
peak heat time.
It's bad. It's very bad. You gotta be careful. Make sure to hydrate
and shower.
Yeah,
but regarding announcements, I'm not entirely sure. It actually honestly depends. Did we actually have the date? They say for Anime NYC.
Let me see. Did somebody cross-post the tweetus? Oh, by the way, I do believe there is a big fucking Tsukihime remake banner at Anime NYC.
There is. Nice. I have seen it. It is excellent. Promote. Localize.
Getting that cash on. Yeah, I don't see it. The tweet exactly. So I'm not sure exactly. Yeah, they're saying 24th to 25th of August. Yeah, so that's also the Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, that's way too late for any summer or any announcement. So maybe whatever back to school programs we have, special downloads, but honestly, like I said, that's a really bad window for us personally, as our anniversary is way later, and summer is usually on by late August, maybe early September. It does kind of fluctuate.
That's not the announcements, because they usually I don't know, they usually just straight up announce what's going to be in summer at anniversary anyway. Not the full details, but they're ready to show you the images. So yeah, it's interesting.
It's interesting. We'll see how this pays off.
Are there any other... I mean, obviously, NYC is making their own decision to move for their own reasons. I believe they said they're getting a much bigger, newer venue, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know a lot about convention planning, but I do understand that the way venues work is very important and often has to be decided months, if not the full year in advance. I think they're able to announce that they're going to move it up next year because, literally as they're opening their doors, they're probably, we're in talks with the other venue to switch.
Yep.
Even though it's not until August, so yeah. So that's probably more power to them, but it is going to be a little weird for the FGO timing and, Like, I didn't mention this earlier, but we are going to have, like, a streamed FGO panel, so we're probably going to get, like, between 6 to 10 Saint Courts from that, for instance.
Hella.
So, usually we do that when somebody shows up on a stream. Not quite so bad as to fucking throw quartz into the audience, but, it's like that. But, yeah, are there any other anime events around this time that would get stuff? We may have to just, because usually there's December and November stuff, and there's usually Thanksgiving banners, so we may just have to start doing Kalia Broadcasts Light.
Yeah. Well, we will see how that goes. But let us move on. Oh, wait, no. Bonus question, Ultimate Turkey Plate. I like ham, sweet potato, dinner rolls, collard greens, mashed potatoes. I know that's doubling up on the carbs with the potatoes, but I do like sweet potatoes and mashed potatoes separately. And pea salad.
Honestly, I'm pretty simple. I just give me the turkey, give me the mashed taters, give me the rolls.
Hey, give me the taters.
Honestly, I don't even at like holiday meals. I don't eat a lot all at once. I'm thinking about turkey.
Alrighty, so let us move on. The next one comes from Naba Naba.
King Naba.
Oh gosh, she has to be going so crazy with those.
They have to record new ones every year.
Question with good old American Thanksgiving. My question is simple: what is your favorite Thanksgiving dish? Usually a pie.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be the pie, the pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie is usually it. Although this year it might be pumpkin loaf. Lucky has discovered the joys of making pumpkin spice loaf and has been making them like weekly. This has not been good for my waistline, by the way. Because unfortunately, it's one of those things of like, I need to practice making this. Let me make this a few times beforehand. Oh no, I have made food. I must do something with it. Eat it.
Shit, I've made this. I have to eat it.
Yeah. And then I'm like, oh no, it's good. See, if it was bad, I could just justify eating it, but it's not. So I'm like, oh no, my hubris. Pumpkin spice bread is so good. Then I found out there's a really easy way to make banana bread, so now I'm dual-wielding banana bread and pumpkin spice bread. What is my life?
Oh, I mean, you clearly gotta find the third bread and make the bread triangle.
I do have a recipe for walnut bread.
Can I? Which volume is that in? I think it was in volume 2.
Ooh,
there's Scott there. Funnily enough, Lucky, there's a Scott Pilgrim panel for this. Let me see if I can find it.
What?
It did also make it to the movie.
But yeah, my Final Fantasy XIV cookbook has a recipe for walnut bread. It's just slightly complicated, so I gotta work on it a bit harder.
Practice.
Yep. But yes, then I can go like, triple bread. I can make a bread triangle, as we have been discussing triangles in the general chat a little bit. Just mostly waiting on Megan to see if he finds that panel, but I think we can move on a little bit.
No, I posted it in Patreon chat.
Oh, you posted it in Patreon chat. Excuse me.
I got it. Bread angle.
Bread makes you fat? But this next one comes from Monster Girl Aficionado, who says, Dear Lucky and Omega, no question this week, just sending good vibes, wah, and wishing you well. Keep up the great work. No, you keep up the great work. Hey! I don't know if my rapid fire finger guns caught on my...
It did.
And our last one for this week, coming from the one, the only Agent 418, saying, Hello, Lucky and Omega. Have a great weekend, y'all. You too.
Hey.
I'm gonna have a great weekend. I got like 4 light novels. I got a new game is not a reason to celebrate. That is just another scream into the abyss of my fucking backlog. Books I can read in like a couple hours.
Yeah,
books
are easy.
Books are easy. That's no problem. If I want to, I can get through my entire backlog of books in like 2 days. Video games are not 2 days.
Sadly not.
But like I said, I got books, I got bread to make, I'm going to start loading up on hot cocoa. What else do I got going on this weekend? I'm not entirely sure. Probably going to go out to eat tomorrow because I am a glutton, and as much as I want to lose weight, I like food more. I hate this about myself, by the way. Actually, I think what I'm going to do is I was actually trying to find some exercise equipment that I can use because I hate exercise, so I'm trying to find something to make it more entertaining for me. And I actually found out that they do have indoor bicycle trainers. I was like, oh shit. Because I've been meaning to buy myself a bike so I can bike around. Because I do like biking. Yeah. So here's the thing. I don't mind doing physical exercise and stuff, but not, stationary stuff. I like swimming, bicycling, hiking, stuff like that. Not,
That's
aerobics.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a little bit of a problem. I should double check that. I'll do that later. Was there anything else I was going to mention? Probably not. Anyway, let's move on to free talk. Whoop.
The talk is free.
Doesn't cost you a thing.
So, first of all, we're going to talk about we almost never escape first impressions. Calling this first impressions because we're waiting on the last time gate. I think it's the last time gate, actually.
I am assuming it's the last time game. We begin like 2 chapters. I don't think there's anything after chapter. I don't even
10 is
remember
the one
what
that opens tonight.
Yeah,
That's where I'm at. I'm waiting for the time gate. So, this is why, by the way, there's no welfare corner just yet. Because while you have been able to use your Ranmaru and better have been leveling her, she's not permanent yet. So we'll save that for next week, as we do.
Yeah,
that is usually how we format these. But we got a few fun things.
Woo.
Honestly, I don't really know. Like with Guda Guda, I never know what to expect exactly. Like a lot of stuff in FGO.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I wasn't expecting the first panel. I was like, all right, let's talk about my missing head.
Yes, no. So not every Guda Guda event has been great, I want to say. But that's like a lot of FGO stuff. We've been doing Guda Gudas since literally year 1, so they've had a lot of them. Like a lot of FGO events, they've gotten, bigger and better over time. And this one is just like it's more. It starts with a fucking the gag with Nobu is missing her head.
Literally.
Yes, they've erased
sprite?
it from the sprites. Yeah, and then they do the to keeping in mind that like face effects like sweat drops or sparkles or stuff still show up even though there's no head. And then Nobukatsu, being the go-getter that he is, gets a little sign. Oh, right, yeah. Ranmaru X isn't permanent until the epilogue. It does take a while, so we got a little bit of extra time. But we should be able to finish the main story, because there's a whole, postscript shit, as you usually do. But yeah, anyway, so, like, Nobukatsu gets Big Sister a little sign with, an impression of her face on it. And not the funniest, but, like, the craziest thing is, that's where this event starts, and then, like, 2 days later, the event is, like, making you lie on the floor in existential despair. Like,
yeah.
You thought shit was gonna be normal. No. This is a sad event.
Well, I think it does something very interesting that, Guda Guda, like, they're kind of split into, like, 2 major sections. They're usually split into the Sengoku era and the I would just say around the Meiji Restoration, because both of those were actually very long periods, and what is considered the Meiji Restoration only happened after a long and bloody internal conflict in Japan. Because it does mention in the event, Roma never actually did live to actually see the restoration. The bloodless opening of Edo Castle.
And there's a lot of long dovetails. Like I for instance didn't realize, because I just wasn't doing the math in my head, but like something later that happens is Cha-Cha talks about that, like, she would have seen Okuni perform, which is true.
Yep.
Actually.
Yep.
Because that was Okuni's time period was right around the tail end of that transition, and then into the Tokugawa shogunate, because the shogunate is the one who banned Onakabuki for being too hot. Also, basically, y'all have seen, I assume, like, what, like, modern Japanese, like, concert and like, idol culture is like. And, you've probably heard stories of what the theater is like, how, hot and sexy and dramatic that is. Hey, humans don't change. Human nature doesn't change. That's exactly what the kabuki scene was like. There were riots. But, like, the Guda Guda period, is usually, because we did just have Yamatai Koku, though that obviously tied back to the Shinsengumi as well. It's usually based either around warring states or around, like you said, Meiji, because that's, where our two out of our 3, actually, I would say at this point, tentpole characters come from.
Yeah.
Because the first Guda Guda was Nobu and Okita, and that's just kind of, how it was. And then I think they did a pretty good job with kind of turning Ryoma into that third, chunk, because he's, contemporary with Okita's time, but not necessarily fully crossing over, but also doing his own thing. So they, like,
Well, he wasn't Shinsengumi, so, if anything, you say he was the on the opposite side.
Yeah. But also he's got his, the Sakamoto, detective agency angle. So, like, that gives, our kind of, like, different axes for stuff that can happen. So, yeah, it's very, very good of them. They have so many fucking characters, as evidenced by the fact that, this event adds, like, 3 more NPC sprites. only one of whom at this time is summonable in JP. But yeah, it's got a lot of depth to it, and that's kind of I think where this takes off is they really get into that depth.
Yeah, they do.
Like you mentioned the bloodless opening. Well, we've got our alternate history, which is about the bloody opening and stuff like that. I believe the way I phrased this is this event is rad sad.
Yeah.
Like, it's really cool. There's a lot of great stuff that happens. We are very, very early introduced to RANMARU X chasing us through the ray shift, losing her eye patch, being very embarrassed that we saw her, fucking Chuniboyu eye.
Very cute. Top percent.
Yes. But also, like, there is a lot of heavy-hitting, like, serious, sad backstory shit. There's a lot of Ryoma, and there is a lot of... Well, there's a lot of just basically Ryoma's, crew and former crew. There's, a lot of the Tosa boys involved in this. The Kino Party. Yeah. So, like, that has a lot of long and sordid history. There is some personal notes with Ryoma and Oreo. And, while the Okuni stuff is historical fiction, the FGO can get away with this because I think we have, like, basically literally no records of what the fuck Okuni was doing before she showed up in Kyoto and started dancing and singing.
Yeah.
So, but, like, that's also pretty heavy. Though it is, I would say it feels pretty typical for, like, kind of like a, not quite a Japanese horror, but like a supernatural kind of, mystery. Like, that's, the starter of, like, I don't know, that could be like the intro chapters of Inuyasha or something, Okuni's backstory.
Oh, yeah,
like,
definitely.
All pretty normal.
Yeah.
But still, Sag. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. Then there's fucking, betrayal, murder. And also, Nobu's head is still missing. And it's funny how hilarious they treat this. And then when you actually figure out where Nobu's head is in the singularity, it's, like, super serious. They bust out, like, the ominous chanting music from Heian-kyo, from, like, when Doman was getting all, his dark god mode.
I mean, like, it is really weird because, for one, like, our first, quote-unquote ally is, mysterious RANMARU X, who just seems like a joke. I say seems. They are precious and adorable, and I love them to death.
She is from the Servant Universe. She is the most RANMARU of all RANMARUs from Planet RANMARU.
But they also do a very potent flashback of RANMARU at Honoji. Also, shout out to the Yasuke shout out, Servant Win. I am ready for this.
Yeah, they haven't shown a visual design yet, but this is like the second or third time they've explicitly mentioned him. And this was kind of one of his, big moments in the story. Him and Ranmaru standing guard at the Honoji temple.
Mm-hmm.
We get to see Akechu Mitsuhide's dumb face again. I do appreciate that in the flashback they do use full blown Mao Nobu as Nobu, and an interesting choice.
Well, it kind of was at the height of Nobunaga's power.
Mm-hmm. Well, and allegedly that is one of the reasons why historians speculate Akechi turned, was because this was after Nobunaga, was obliterating Buddhists.
Mm-hmm.
Because, once again, Nobunaga was not in the business of taking shit from anybody.
Definitely was not.
Didn't always work out. Talk to those guys in the Koga Ninjutsu school. They managed to hold up pretty good, hiding in them woods for a while. But yeah, so, the actual, like, flashback of Honoji, it can't be helped kind of a stuff. And, yeah, it's basically suggested by the story that while obviously RANMARU X is not actual Mori RANMARU, I mean, Nagayoshi is right there. In case you forgot, Mori Nagayoshi is actually RANMARU's, older brother.
But real talk, I remember they immediately act like siblings.
Yes. Like, Nagayoshi looks at RANMARU X and goes, I mean, I guess you kind of look like Naritoshi, but also kind of not. But when they interact, they're just like, they're siblings. And Mori being a berserker and an idiot is just like, fuck it, go with it. It's fine.
We ball.
Yes, exactly.
Actually, honestly, that is Nagayoshi just in general. Fuck it, we ball.
Yeah. Honestly, with RANMARU X as well, that might just be how the Mori clan go. We're balling. But yeah, so there's, like, she's definitely the Servant Universe version, but is connected to the real one. And I do like that they straight up say that regular Mori Ranmaru is a servant. He is a guy who can be summoned. We know what one of his noble phantasms would be.
Yeah.
And that would be the one, I think.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of very interesting stuff going on here. But yeah, we very quickly meet our full cast of characters. They figure out the rules later. The rules are that any servants who died after Sakamoto Ryoma are not summonable are not race shiftable to the singularity.
Yep.
And regular Nobunaga does not want to go because she has no head.
I mean, fair.
No, it sounds about right. And Nobukatsu just stays to help his sister because he's a freak.
Also, the original reason why Mori had to kill Master is because he saw the eye.
Yes, saw Ranmaru's eye, and she's just like, well, you have seen my eye, now I must destroy you. And then she ran out of Ranimanium.
Thank you, Sir Reverse, for adding yet another thing. We're already dealing with fucking Guda Guda particles.
Yes. Which is a great... I love how you could just say, wow, it got Guda Guda in here real fast.
Anytime I can reference Guda Guda, I usually pick that option. Mm-hmm. Also, just shout out to our fucking technical team just being like, we don't know shit, just to go deal with it. Fuck. I can't be bothered with this.
Da Vinci is like, yeah, I'm not gonna fucking solve your problem. I have to fucking analyze these particles that are appearing because this stuff is fucked. Anyway. But yeah, so that means our initial support wave is just Ryoma, because obviously Ryoma is inside his own window. Nagiyoshi and Cha-Cha. Now, you'd think that Cha-Cha, also being a berserker, would be part of the comedic ensemble, but no, somehow Cha-Cha ends up being the straight man in most of these jokes.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, we got Mori and we got Ranmaru on either side. Like I said, their response is fuck it, we ball.
Yes.
Shout out for Cha-Cha for getting, I can't say unreasonably mad, but extremely mad over Okini's backstory. They are bonding. I'm like, I love it. But again, I say, as always, Lady Yodo servant win.
Yeah, we can but hope. Also, we have to keep our eyes out for fucking Ranmaru X's swimsuit version, because that's one of our reception lines. I've ordered a swimsuit from Planet Ranmaru. It will arrive in 300 years. So whenever they decide to...
They're going to pull that trigger at some point.
Yeah, they will. I know they haven't done it with Semiramis yet, and I'm not sure why, because I genuinely otherwise do not know why a fucking pigeon would say she looked good in a swimsuit if they weren't planning that alt. But we do know sometimes, especially with alternate versions, that FGO plans these out, years ahead of time and has to find the right event to slot them in. Like, God knows how many summer servant designs they already had that got pushed back because we ended up writing basically, a Pocket LB6 sequel this summer. And we had themes to go through. We still had a couple outsiders, and they're real great, but yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff. So yeah, like you said, Cha-Cha becomes, our straight man. The Moris are just Moriing it up. We are nearly killed by that one guy. Shinbei? I think it's
Shinbei.
Yes. I don't know if that guy has to be summonable. His design seems pretty simple, but he's a big fucking guy.
I loved his final scene.
Yeah, he's got some moments. Also, I guess, on paper, I wouldn't mind seeing him, animated in, another Fate property, because it seems like his method of attacking is just to give a really loud Ki scream and, swing his sword so hard it explodes. There's, swooshing flames and shit.
Yeah, but also, I'm gonna, I might have said it earlier, but, man, I don't know about anyone else, but the minute I saw the fucking event, man, I'm just like, Midgar?
Yeah, no, I had that same thought. And then it gets a lot more explicit because there's a corporation's tower in the dead center, and there are, linked sets of magical reactors. I believe some people did some double checking, and so Remake came out in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So this event, would have been 2021 in JP.
That's right in that fucking that brain rot.
That's probably whoever was writing this event had either seen Remake or played Remake and had it on the brain.
It's not necessarily a power company, but it is heavy industries.
Yeah,
You know,
it is a corporation. He does occasionally communicate via holograms. You know, there's an underground group doing like bombings and shit. It's a whole thing. And yeah, it's funnily enough so far it's Takasugi who is summonable in a couple of years for Kaldea Boys Collection.
I might roll for him.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I especially want to see how they feature him in that event.
Listen. I give mad respect to anyone who just says, "Yeah, I'm the evil mastermind."
Yeah, no, it's pretty great.
I find out I like slight spoilers, but it turns out yes, he was an evil mastermind, and everyone's just like, "I wasn't taking him seriously," and I'm like, "You should have. I did."
Yeah, I mean, he said it. It's believable.
Yeah.
I mean, his Kyotai soldiers become the fucking magical Nobu soldiers from like Imperial Capital or something. He just straight up.
But he's so affable.
Yeah, no, and I think that's why he puts people off guard and why he does that approach. He's just fucking out there. He's minding his business. Meanwhile, Takechi is like much more like, you know, slick and like, you know, not quite shady because they're all fucking shady, and I think that's the point. But like,
yeah,
he's, you know, much more like respectable and refined. But it genuinely seems like, at least out of the servants we're dealing with in this singularity, he is kind of the most upfront and normal. And yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing him playable, but he doesn't have a sprite, so he's probably like bottom of the list. But yeah, no. So we run into Shinbei, who tries to cap us, and we're bailed out by the dramatic entrance of Okuni.
I paid 10 million.
Yeah, I don't actually know if she actually charged me the 10 million, but I was like, fuck it. I have it.
I did. I had like 200 million at the time. I'm all like, 10 million, fine.
Yeah,
I made it rain.
And I mean, when you do that, the fight is really easy.
It really is.
It's your guaranteed, it's your crushing victory course. Also, yes, the event pays really well. The detective quests are like really nice. They're just constantly popping. Yes, if you do the crushing victory course, she like pops her NP every turn and gets like damage reduction and shit. No, it's a slobber knocker. But yeah, so you know, her intro is really great. In general, Okuni, great character. This is a really, obviously, I understand. We have, you know, the Lancer Ryoma design. Drip Ryoma exists. Sakamoto of the Drip. And so, like, he's really cool looking. And everybody guessed that because he had a new class and sprites, he would be a new banner. Okuni's really cool. Like, she's a very neat character. She's accompanied by, you know, giant robot Mafia Katita, which is great.
It is great.
And her animations are great. I do her NP when it's got the auto proc for the first time, and you're like, yeah, normal on a stage. And then it turns into, you know, the back-to-back shot over the sweeping sun. It's like, oh, it's real good. No, she's got, reminds me a little of, not quite the same, because Okuni's not really, she can modernize, but she's not as modernized as, like, say, Shonagon, but gives me, you know, similar, you know, mad artist vibes. She's just here to fucking vibe, but also kill demons. That's her secret. Sei is not here to give a fuck about anything, but, you know, Okuni pulls down her sleeve and sees the tattoo that says, kill demons, fight demons. Fuck yeah. So, you know, we do a good job of setting everybody up. I know we don't talk about it a lot, but I do love how instantly they set up, like, where your base of operations is. They've already opened up a new Sakamoto Detective Agency. He's got a conspiracy board and everything. And then in the span of, like, 2 lines of text, Ranmaru X has opened up Ranmaru Cafe right next door.
I love it. I love it to death.
No, it's great. And like I said, it's... What'd you say? It's, you know, fucking... It's amazing how we do these lighthearted moments. Like, several people have posted the screenshots of, you know, every other character seeing, Takasugi be a gremlin and being like, can I kill him? Can I destroy him? Can he die? Please take a long walk off a short pier. Like, we do all these comedic beats, but also, it's so serious. Izo also got sent.
With drip.
Yes.
The Izo drip is the best.
Dripped out. Yes, his costume is great.
I love it so much. It's
him with the cigarette, the fucking suit. Yeah, I mean, it's funny to bring up the fucking Riga Gotoku, but yes, actually, I would say he's got like a dragon drip. He looks like he's from a Like a Dragon game now. He's chilling. He's smoking. He's ready to rock.
I can just imagine him walking down the street with the fucking slow guitar, just bing, bing,
Yeah.
bing. Ugh.
No, it's real good. But he gets separated, and of course he kind of flips on us because, he runs into, his old teacher, Takechi Sensei. He runs into an alternate Ryoma who, I don't know if we can do the Ryoma, the cooler Ryoma meme, because in the singularity, the new Ryoma's not that cool. He's a huge asshole. There's reasons for it, but he's a jerk. They explain it, but I don't want to get into that because that's a spoiler if people aren't caught up on the time gates. But there's a thing. But that turns into a whole super sad thing because I feel like every chapter starts with a flashback to one of the characters. You've got Ranmaru flashbacks. You've got a lot of Ryoma and Izo flashbacks. You get a time to when Ryoma left Tosa, didn't tell Izo. Don't know if that's based on historical fact or we're just twisting the knife.
No, it is based.
Okay.
Him. Remember when Ishin, Ryoma actually abandoned everything and became a Ronin for a while.
Yeah, fucking ditched. And it's not really a spoiler because it's a historical event, but there's a chapter that is called The Night You Died. Guess what flashback it starts with? It's Sakamoto Ryoma getting assassinated. It's fucking sad, man. Also, everybody tries to, treat, a lot of the other characters don't like Oryu for some reason. I think Okuni and Ranmu are who the fuck is this monster woman? And then you gotta be no, Oryu, she's nice. She gets me frogs.
I said that too. She gets me frogs. She loves frogs. You know how amazing that is?
No, she's great.
It's watching her and Ryoma react is it's like my dessert after dinner. Fuck you all.
I mean, we get some proper audio backstory in this, so they do kind of explain some stuff.
I do believe it mentioned earlier, but it is actually a historical record that Ryoma climbed the fucking mountain and supposedly found the treasured spear on it and pulled it out.
Yeah. And they show a flashback of that, and the reason why Oryu starts flying around, because Ryoma's just okay, cool, magic dragon, bye!
It's he was oh man, that sucked. Here, let me just pull that out. Bye!
Oh, that's very sad for you. Here. What? Huh? Shit, I forgot I was tricking him. I was going to eat him after. Fuck. What was that guy's deal? Too nice for his own good. But yeah, no. So there's a lot of these, emotional moments, a lot of these dark, sinister moments, lots of dramatic irony, but also we're still firing, gags. Fucking Himiko and Kagetora can't go because they left to go look for clams. You are currently in, at least if you're caught up on story, you're currently in, Novum Chaldea, in the Wandering Sea. Where the fuck are they going to find clams? But they left anyway. It's so good. This event is great. And like I said, it really makes me want to go back into Ishin.
Oh, it should.
Because that's what Ishin is all about, is this shit. But yeah, no. And I'm waiting for the punchline and stuff and working. But it's a great event. Good work, team. Any other? Wait, no, actually. There's one more first impression thought we should have. You put this down about it being silly and stuff, but it's so wild about this. The story is serious. We're being pressed. How are we being pressed? We're being invaded inside the new Sakamoto Detective Agency. It's by the Kino Nobus. There's just fucking mini Nobus attacking us, and they're a pain in the ass. And it's that just kind of encapsulates the event. And once again, new fucking dialogue, because when these little gremlins die, they say, Kinobu. Kinobu. It's, ugh. So yeah, a lot of stuff, a lot of spice. But if that is all of our first impression thoughts, we won't go too deep into all the spoilers, twisties, and turnies. I know people are still catching up on their time gates.
Mm-hmm.
In general, I've been having a pleasant time with this event, though I do kind of feel with the way the classes line up, I don't use a lot of the bonus units as much because this event is pretty high leaning on HP. So when I want to farm, I'm using my Summer Musashi and
I'm using Summer Musashi myself.
Muramasa a lot for stuff. Well, Okuni's single target, so she's not ideal for farming, but there are some nodes that have assassin guys in the one assassin man in wave 1. So there's some shit you got to work through. It's a little awkward. But yeah, it's there. Well, yeah, but I'm working on my Ranmaru X. She's only just got her to max level the other night. probably should spend some stuff on skills. Thankfully, she is an Avenger.
Like I did, my RANMARU is 666, which isn't quite good enough for, the things. You probably do need to get her up to 10, 10, 10. And as much as I like RANMARU, like I said, I'm still like looking at my Crystallized Lord and be like, what do I do with you?
It's a lot of budgeting. Yeah, I'll probably push it to 666. 9910 works? Well, that'd save you the lures, so you only gotta use one. But there also is, like, it will probably get easier to do that as you get more NP copies. I'm only, like, NP 2. So, I mean, I think the intent is for you to use her a lot for these quests, but a lot of times she doesn't have, the extra class advantage for the extra spice. And listen,
Spice.
I know he's not part of the event, but Muramasa is Japanese, so I can, and so is Musashi. I can use them. It's fine. Don't ask me about these two Castorias going everywhere with them. Though honestly, depending on the CE setup, I don't even need double Castoria.
Like he has been going just fine with Castoria Tamamo.
Yeah, it works. Oh, are you up to MLB CE yet?
No, I have not gotten a drop, and I haven't found the 5th copy yet.
Yeah, I think it's late in the ladder. I haven't gotten that one. That's my last one I need. I have gotten one drop, but I haven't bought the second one for 200 currency or gotten the mission, so I'm still also one behind. Yes.
Yeah, I got all the ones in the shop.
That'll make it very easy because that's 50%. Also, it's super big on demonic damage, so put that on your Okuni, everybody.
Big slaps.
But all right, okay, we've been going for about an hour 15. Moving along.
Yeah,
we'll be here for a second more because now is the part where we're gonna move to the What's Up zone, and we're gonna talk about the video game awards. Because the nominees list has been fully posted. You can now vote on your choices, and it's been an interesting one. There are several conversations that have come up about this. For one, people are, especially the more fanboyish side, people are, asking, where's the Xbox games? Xbox not doing super hot. That really shouldn't shock anybody. Xbox is not having a super hot year, TBH. But their games have gotten very minimal nominations. But there are some other discussions of snubbing. And I think we can, start from the top. I've got the list pulled up.
Yeah.
So, we'll start with the big one, the one they're going to wait all the way to the end of the show to announce. Game of the Year, 6 nominees. Your nominees are Alan Wake 2, Remedy Epic, Baldur's Gate 3, Larian Studios, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, that's Insomniac and Sony, Resident Evil 4, Capcom, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Nintendo, and Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, also Nintendo. So right here, we immediately have probably the biggest cruxer of contention.
Yeah.
You will notice, chat, there is no Final Fantasy 16 on this list. Mm-hmm. Nor are, as I mentioned earlier, are there any Xbox games hit this list either. And, is there a snub? Honestly, I would say yes, probably a snub for the nominee.
I would say so as well.
16, I know there were a couple of rough points in the press pre-release, and I know that after the game came out, there were some genuine critiques about gameplay. We had the critiques ourselves. The gameplay is not as deep as they could have gone. It was still a major tentpole release. God knows it's not, I wondered at first as when I saw it wasn't a list, I was like, oh, did it being, exclusive to PS5 with no PC release, in question, hurt it? No, fucking Spider-Man 2's on this list. So it is, but, it was a major release, it was a major multimedia, it's a fucking brand new Final Fantasy game to not even get nommed? I don't know. I mean, actually, I'm looking at this fucking list. All these games are sequels, technically.
One of those games is a remake.
Yes, and that has been another point of contention. Listen, I fucking love RE4 Remake. It's a really good game. And some people have tried to argue that it should be like it was less work as a video game because it's a remake. No. It was built entirely from the ground up, okay? I don't know if there's a single piece of code it shares between itself and the original RE4.
It does not, probably.
But I do kind of agree that, as good of a game as it is, we all know RE4 is good. That's
my thing.
RE4
has a RE4 Remake is a game that is built upon its own success. It is a iconic game in the RE franchise that pioneered a lot of stuff that we use today, especially in the third party shooter. It's like putting that on the Lemony is just it had a head start.
Weird. Yeah, it's weird, and I mean, obviously that's probably why more of these outlets thought of it, but like, it's weird because I don't want to like. Obviously, RE4 Remake doesn't let down that legacy, but it still has a leg up because of that legacy you're talking about.
Actually, Omega, real quick, is Dead Space on any of the lists? Like, how many? Another really good, horror fucking franchise.
Yes,
remake
Dead Space only one nom, but they didn't add a nom for best audio design.
Yeah,
which is honestly for Dead Space a pretty choice. That game has always had very clean sound design, and they've done a lot with it.
Mm. But yeah, it's like it basically got the literal same treatment. Got one nom. It's like, and I would like. Some people might fight me on this.
By the way, also Dead Space has to compete with RE4 in that category.
Yeah. People might fight me on that, but I kind of put Dead Space at the same tier at RE4 for different reasons, but they're on the same level for me.
And I mean, I think it says a lot that like both of those were at the right time for those remakes to come out this same year. Like that's the appropriate time period for like has passed between those couple of games, I mean, obviously Resident Evil 4 came out earlier, but they've been on this long tail of remaking old games. But like those are both very seminal works of survival horror for different reasons.
Yeah. And I will continue pointing fingers. I will not point fingers at Super Mario Wonder. Apparently everyone says that game is amazing. I have not tried it. I probably will not try it, but I will believe those people.
Yeah.
I will, cast a slightly judgmental eye at Tears of the Kingdom 2. I mean, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I don't know why I said Tears of the Kingdom 2. I am fucking dumb right now. Because it's a sequel,
probably.
It is probably a sequel.
Yeah.
That game...
No, go ahead. Finish your thought, Lucky.
It's like, that, also a great game. Also, it's... Oh, what do I want to say? It's the fucking... It's the bipolar of the... It's a bipolar fucking game. When it hits high, it hits fucking high. But when it hits low, it hits fucking low.
So, I think... And I will state this as someone who, while I have not, speaking of fucking... actually, no, it's part of my argument. I still haven't finished Tears. I haven't beaten the final boss. Because what I did with Tears was I did the Breath of the Wild Tears of the Kingdom thing. I slotted that game in. I played it like every day for so many hours. I did all the fucking temples and then all the other stuff and then all the story. And then the game is like, okay, cool, you can go beat the final boss. And I open up my quest log and I see that I have 9 million things left to do. And I just burnt out and put it down and I haven't gotten back into it. Even though everybody says that the final sections are really good, the open world stuff kind of gets in its own way. And I ended up, like I said, I went super ham and then I was like, fuck, man, there's a lot of work in this game. I don't need to do all of it, but it feels good.
Listen, I love Legend of Zelda nuts and bolts, but it's a little too open. And that's a detriment. People need to understand that. Sometimes games need like forced direction and linear progress. Yeah,
so I'm very glad they did not nominate it for Best Narrative.
Yeah.
Because I think that actually, while the story is much better in Tears is a fundamental problem that you can do it out of order, which means that every temple ends with the same goddamn cutscene. It's very repetitive, and like, in my mind, that has not aged as well. Thinking back on it, I'm like, yeah, those were all the same, weren't they? I didn't really learn anything new in those. I don't know if that was a good use of my time. But I think, sadly, there's a little bit of Tears bias. I'm not sure why, because it came out in the middle of the year, and like, it was super impactful. I know it did kind of have that long-term, like, meme longevity, because the things you can do with, the hand power. The things you can do sticking all these, like, different vehicles and other weird combos, the horrible things you can do to Koroks, like, all of that had really good staying power. I think I still sometimes see, like, Tears of the Kingdom shitposts, basically, of some stuff people have made. So that kept the game in everybody's mind a lot. Does that make it Game of the Year? I don't know. I feel like this is a thing that happens, I think, sometimes when you're rating stuff or giving awards, right? Breath of the Wild won Game of the Year it came out. It was a pretty big game. It was a big deal. It was all like a whole new direction for Zelda. Had a lot of, great stuff going for it. Brilliant work. So, obviously, I feel like a lot of the panelists are probably thinking, well, shit, Tears of the Kingdom is just Breath of the Wild, but more, so we should nominate Tears for all the stuff we nominated Breath for, right? Not necessarily. I do think that Tears is an amazing showcase of how they, like, not literally, but basically tripled Breath, right?
Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
It's phenomenal. It's got some great zingers. There's a couple of noms I'm going to fucking pick for, one of which is going to be a best score in music. Like, I don't know if the very final dungeon and boss has some real zingers in there, but Tears, once again, has a very understated soundtrack, much like Breath. And that said, Breath has a couple of bangers in it that I still think about. The theme when all the divine beasts fire on Ganon is really cool. Really great payoff moment. And also the Breath version of the Hyrule Castle theme is fucking amazing. And I was so sad that, I mean, obviously for reasons they do it. Yeah, I've heard that. I need to go back and listen to Colgera. This is going to be weird, but actually, I was so into the act of doing Colgera's boss fight that I wasn't paying attention to the music. Because it was, like, that was the first one I did, so I'm like, holy shit, a real boss fight. This is amazing. Phenomenal. So yeah, they did a lot of stuff, but, like, I couldn't pick out any soundtrack from Tears, like, off the top of my head. So like I said, I feel like they favored it a little too much in the nominees. Anyway, I'm praying for Alan Wake's sweep. I think Baldur's Gate will get it, just because that's, like, that seems like the tone of this year. But I hope
honestly, Baldur's Gate 3 is just that good. It really is.
Hey, spoilers. They've got a shitload more noms.
They do.
If we don't have anything else to say about Game of the Year, we can keep going, because these trends will continue.
Like I said, we Alan Wake 2. Also, I will say I do feel like Alan Wake 2 has some recency bias as well. I do think it is a probably a critical success. Like, you know, the Dark Hearts out of nowhere. I don't think anyone was expecting this much. We just did We Sing yesterday, and we're just like, there's just moments of us just watching the fucking
y'all. Like, if you haven't played Alan Wake 2 and you don't think you will, if you want to start catching up on some of the reasons why this game is getting so many noms, check out the streams we're doing. We're doing some extra streams for it, and it is well, there's a reason it's got nominees in some of these categories. Okay, yeah. Like they are refining and like really punching up their business Remedy is, and this is like we have entered peak Remedy.
Yeah. Also, I do want to say it. I probably don't think that Final Fantasy 16 should win Game of the Year. I do think of it as a snub that it was not included in the nomination.
Yes, I think it should have the consideration, especially considering, like, it will. I mean, I don't know if the panelists are thinking about this. I do know some panelists think it was snubbed. It was funny. There's a clip circulating from Kind of Funny, who are the panelists, one of the panelists. They are one of the news outlets about video games that are polled. And I, follow them in my normal day-to-day. But there's a clip of them. They do, like, a daily, news show podcast about video games. There's a clip of them going, like, man, we should have put... Why didn't 16 in Game of the Year?
No, I've actually seen a few people reporting on how they believe 16 was snubbed on it.
Like, I think even some of the panelists are thinking, like, man, maybe we should have been a little tighter. Like, because it's like, everything here is, like, either... I mean, like, Baldur's Gate, okay, get it. That is an iconic. Literally might be Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2 came out, last month. Alan Wake 2, tail end of last month. Super Mario
I'm not sure about
Wonder was like this month.
Yeah. I'm gonna be real. I'm not sure about Spider-Man 2. I haven't got a chance to play it. People have said good things about it, but I've also seen some discourse, and I do know that there has been some weird ass bugs in the game. One of our people listening now actually had a semi-game breaking bug happen to them, so I'm just all like,
yeah, it causes an SSD failure. There was a bug where you could become a cube that got fixed. So, like, it seems like the production was a little rushed, but even then, people were still saying, like, GOTY contender. Like, yeah. It seems like the heart of the game is there, but does it deserve the award? Nah.
I don't know. So, yeah, I do believe that's what we can say on overall on Game of the Year.
So now we're going back down to, for the most part, 5 noms. Best Game Direction. I believe the way the VGAs pitch this is... Let me actually see if I can pull up their website in the categories, because they have little descriptions for each.
I can read off the nominations real quick. So we got Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and Legend of Zelda of Tears of the Kingdom.
Hey, shocking. It's the exact same list as Game of the Year, just without Resident Evil, because one, we had to cut a game, and also, maybe the panelists realized that nominating RE4 was cheating because that game's direction is, hey, we're remaking RE4. Like, no offense to RE4. Like I said, it's a great fucking game. I had a great time. But, like, I don't know, it's if we're counting, like, fucking, you know, whatchamacallit, the game direction, it's, you know, a weird one. So let's see. Game direction says, awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. I once again feel a little sketch about the Tears include, because, like, it's weird. Tears has some really good creative design stuff they added on to Breath.
I mean, I think it's good because, like, they have 3 levels. And each, like, kind of serve a different purpose.
Yes.
And then they
added
added
differently.
They all played it very differently, and they definitely changed up how, you know, combat was. Like, I still don't like the fusion system, but it was definitely new and unique, especially when you started adding all the fucking robot parts to shit.
Yeah.
Like,
and then there's, like, a lot of stuff you can do with the dragons, and there's, like, you know, multitudes of stuff. They changed up a lot of the other stuff. So, like, yeah, I guess
like,
it fits. Talking it through, I'm more comfortable. But it's a weird one because it's like
it is a bit of a weird one.
It's
like
when you play the game, you're like, oh, this is just this is the Breath engine. This is just Breath, and then you realize as you play Tears, you're like, oh wait, holy shit, there's so much more.
There's so much more. They put so much work in smooth like everything. It's like Tears of the Kingdom is a game that you can just pick up and play and constantly discover new things.
Yeah,
and if that's like their way that their game direction went, I think it's fine. Like, I was thinking of, like, 16 should have been on this list. I'm like, no, actually, like, they actually played it, like, fairly safe with a lot of things in 16.
Yeah,
all the
direction is not the one I would tack for 16.
No. So, no, I think this is a fairly one. I'm pretty sure that Alan Wake 2 or Baldur's Gate 3 will probably win this one. Like I said, the way, like, they have branching story paths and all the little things you can do in Baldur's Gate 3, very, very complex, very, very fun. But just what the crazy mind trip they're taking you on Alan Wake 2,
Talking about just direction, Alan Wake involves literal direction, as in they have shot some very lengthy live action segments they had to direct. Also, there's a whole ass game in it. Like, it's... Again, like I said, if you're not watching those streams and you don't believe me about this shit, go check them out. This is not just me cross-advertising. It's just also, like, you can literally watch what we're doing. It is wild and wacky. Like, it's just, I cannot... While also still being, by the way, deeply existentially terrifying. Like, that's the thing. Like, it's so weird, but also so much still on that, you know, thriller horror kick. I don't know. It's a thing. Okay, so, let's see. What order is this article I'm reading in? Whatever. I got their Oregon website up. I'll go in their order.
Righto.
Best narrative is next. For outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game. Once again, 5 nominees. Now, I'm going to start it because it's in alphabetical order, and you're going to think it's pretty familiar, but there's a couple of twists in here.
Ta-da.
So, Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom Liberty. That's right.
Hey.
They actually let Phantom Liberty break out and be its own nom, which is good. Also, the narrative is actually really good. Final Fantasy 16, this is their first nom, and Marvel Spider-Man 2. Honestly, this one feels like it's going to be a little bit of a...
This one may be a little bit of a slug. Honestly, I'm going to, like, no offense to Spider-Man 2, I do not know your story. I would assume it's good if it's bad, but, oh man, I look at the other 4, I'm just like,
Yeah, I think even though I haven't beat Phantom Liberty, I think I got to give it the edge, because it like, Cyberpunk is... It's not exactly an immersive sim, because nobody knows what the fuck that means anyway, but, like, you experience Cyberpunk through a first-person video game interface as V, and, like, there's so much little story writing, so much big story writing, such great character writing.
It's so good.
The things they did where, like, all of the gigs are basically side jobs, you know? Like, every little quest you do is detailed. No, it's really well written, but it's a tough cut, because, like, Alan Wake 2 is doing very interesting things with narrative, and, like...
I do want to say I do feel like Alan Wake 2 may be a little too cerebral, though. And some people like that. When you're trying to tell a story, it's not necessarily the best thing. We're, like, several streams in, we have no idea what the fuck is going on. We really don't.
We're literally like, what order are these things happening in? You know? Is Alan here? Is Alan there? What the fuck is Saga doing? You know? Did she talk to Alan? Is she not talking to Alan? Which Alan is she talking to? How many Alans are there, actually?
And, like...
It's... I think another way to put it is it's not just cerebral, but also the original Alan Wake was this is too, but Alan Wake 2 is a story about stories, and
we literally went through the King of Yellow.
That will throw people. There are going to be people who are not going to get those references, or there's going to be people who don't like that kind of meta commentary. But yeah, it's still very well written, and definitely not only just narrative development, the action narrative, but also the manner of storytelling. Alan Wake does have some great moments of storytelling.
But
and 16's story, very good. I don't know if it's a perfect, but
I don't think it's gonna win best narrative. I'm gonna be honest.
No, I'm glad it got the nom because I think the storytelling and the characters had a lot to say. But yeah, I don't know if it'll win.
It's gonna be I think Cyberpunk is the dark horse in here because I do know that everyone raved it, but there's just Baldur's Gate 3 just has so much story in it.
Yeah,
it's so big.
Honestly, that might be the one saving grace that it doesn't necessarily knock that out of the park. Because it's got so much story, have the people voting and witnessing it actually have the time to sit through and experience all that story.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's why, personally, I would also vote for Cyberpunk: Phantom Liberty because it is a contained package with just a lot of stuff in it. And I've always liked how story has progressed in Cyberpunk. When you talk to people, you're not just, I know this is me giving Starfield shit, but you're not just two people standing perfectly still as your mouth flaps move. Yeah. You feel like you're actually, doing stuff, being a person,
Oh, and this is something I've always loved about Cyberpunk is I know some people are like, oh, the game's not immersive, but for no reason at all, it doesn't do anything. There are many conversations where you can drink and smoke mid-convo just to feel out the beats or because it's what your character would do. And sometimes you're having a conversation and you're just like, I really need a fucking drink.
Yeah. Or, someone will be pulling a gun at you and you make conversation, you be like, no, my gun.
Yeah. Slap it, draw your gun, and so many little ambient conversations and just, fucking the back and forth with you and Johnny, him just bouncing around and stuff. No, it's real good. And obviously I think I know they're saying it's for Phantom Liberty, but I do kind of feel like we're on the Cyberpunk Redemption tour here, and now that the game has hit 2.0 and Phantom Liberty,
oh my god, why?
And a lot of its bugs have been smoothed out, right?
Hang on, oh wait, I think someone already posted it.
Oh, which friend?
Yep. Oh, it's just a Nikkei thing.
Ah, okay.
Don't worry, I'm gonna be talking about that later.
Nice. But yeah, because it's hit 2.0, I think that people can now consider Cyberpunk and look at it for being itself. Yeah. All right. Next category is Best Art Direction for outstanding creative or technical achievements in artistic design and animation. Your 5 nominees are Alan Wake 2, Hi-Fi Rush, which is by Tango Gameworks / Bethesda, Lies of P. This is their first nom. I don't think it's their only one, but it might be. But still, Lies of P, Round 8 Studios Neowitz Games, Super Mario Bros. Wonder by Nintendo, and Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom by Nintendo.
Sorry, you can't see me, but I'm just doing this weird shrug at the Tears of the Kingdom because it's the exact...
Again. This is like I said, I feel like we were a little too... Because Tears was Breath but more, I wonder if the panelists felt that they had to, give Tears some of these noms, because parts of it are creative. There is some new stuff. I don't know, are we that horny for new character designs?
Yes.
True, but is that enough to carry the art direction nom?
Probably not. No.
No, most of your animations are pretty much the same. There are some new models and they revamped the maps, but it's still Breath, and the art style is very much continuing from Breath.
I don't say the art style is bad, but it's not anything new.
Yeah, and this is a thing in the video game industry when things are sequelized, when they are serialized. You can't keep nominating the same games and franchises for the same shit over and over again if it's just the same, right? The team's already gotten its flowers. You should throw that nom somewhere else. And
people are horny for the dwarf, and I can understand it.
Okay, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, that is doing lots of additional new shit with visuals. That's working out.
Yeah,
Mario's always trying new things. Lies of P, beautiful, unique art style, very unique setting.
Oh yeah,
I would say Hi-Fi Rush also stands out. Personally, I'm because if I vote, that's the one I've experienced. I vote for Alan Wake in this category because again, want to talk about art design. These motherfuckers put a live-action musical number inside their video game.
Also, can we just talk, like, this happened the last stream, but we did the Oceanside Hotel, and just, me and Omega both had this moment where we're looking at the fucking peeling yellow wallpaper, and we're just all like, and as we go, we're just like, we're just doing the fucking King in Yellow.
Yeah, this is some Carcosa shit. Why are the walls?
This is some
why is the
Carcosa
wallpaper
shit.
yellow and peeling? And then they, spook it up later, blood everywhere, like. And the game is full of those subtle views.
Yeah.
Like, there's
I
so
keep
much
my eye,
tiny
like,
storytelling.
like, I keep looking out for fucking, like, men spray painted on walls, because, like, that might indicate enemies. I'm just like, I'm constantly looking at fucking posters, graffiti, and stuff. I'm just looking at stuff.
Yeah, there's so much really good pocket lint in that game. It's very atmospheric. So, like, yeah, I would once again assume that Alan Wake 2 is probably pretty high up on here, but it might be Lies of P. Like we said, very unique visual style.
Actually, honestly, I had to actually do some research into this, but South Korea recently had their the Korean Game Awards, and Lies of P actually won their best overall game. Yeah. So no, it's like, it is getting its recognition elsewhere. Like, I'm probably gonna have to put that on my backlog as well. I did enjoy the demo. I'm just ass at fucking Soulsborne's games.
Same. That's like I'm like, oh god, do I have the time and money commitment for this? And I was like, no, I still got to get through Armored Core, which I still have to get through Armored Core. And someday I need to get back to Elden Ring. So
honestly, like, I cast side eye to Legend of Zelda, but anyone else, they can take it and I'll be okay with it. Fuck it.
And I do hope that, like we said, like some of these thoughts when the public is voting and when panelists are ranking, to give the awards, that like that this stuff comes up and they're like, okay, Tears looks good, but like we could hit it up. Now possibly the most important category of the night to us personally: best score and music. For outstanding music, inclusive score, original song, or licensed soundtrack. I don't think there are any licensed soundtracks on this list. So you've got Alan Wake 2 composer Petryalenko. Again, I mentioned there's a musical inside this, and they have more original songs by, like, the old gods of Asgard and shit. So, like, probably very solidly deserved. Baldur's Gate 3 composer Borislav Slavilov. I don't think I've heard any music from Baldur's Gate, but I assume, like everything else in that game, it's completely well crafted. The big one for us, Final Fantasy 16 composer Masayoshi Soken.
He has already won awards for because they won it for the Golden Joystick, so...
Yes. I hope he wins another one. I want to see him get up on there. Can we
personally,
get Soken to say Lahi on the stage?
Again, I'm not entirely sure why Legend of Zelda's on here. If I could, I replace it with Cyberpunk, because that got some tracks, y'all.
Yeah, and they made 3 whole new tracks. Also, yes, I didn't get that far. I stopped at 16, but yeah, Hi-Fi Rush is on here. Audio director Shuichi Kabori, and Tears of the Kingdom, which does not even have its particular composer labeled. It just says composed by the Nintendo Sound team. Again, I don't remember any of the tracks from Tears. I think everybody who I asked this question to seems to agree Kogura's boss theme is good. They don't have any more zingers. But like Hi-Fi Rush, like I said, I never heard it, but I have heard it has a very good sound design. That said, 16's soundtrack is super fucking long because Soken used a lot of his same sensibilities for 14's music, and also I think the direction that just in general the Square Enix sound team is going, because 7 Remix music is also all like this, where most every like big set piece song is like 3 or 4 movements because it's the 3 or 4 phases to the boss fight. But like there's such good stuff. Like in my mind right now, I'm just my mind is just playing Find the Flame. But there's so many like the fucking I can hear the opening strings of the music when you do an Elite Mark. All of the dominant themes, to Forgotten Shores. There's some fucking phenomenal specific music for specific icon fights, but also it's not just the actions. We have subtle themes. Hideaway. Like the game has an in-game orchestrion for a reason. Like it's just Robin's talking about Titan and Titan Lost, fucking crazy good shit. So we're gonna bust out his electric guitars for Titan. Like no, it's the final boss theme is like a dramatic remix of the themes that have come before. Fucking love that shit. It's great. It's brilliant. Like, nah, it totally deserves this win.
Yeah.
If anybody but 16 wins, I have to ask that, like, Mr. Jeff Keighley, I mandate that you must say before they vote, you have to verify that the people who voted on this did listen to that music. Because otherwise, what the fuck are you doing? And now, a slightly different but similar category. Best audio design, recognizing the best in-game audio and sound design. Nominees are Alan Wake 2, Dead Space Remake, Hi-Fi Rush, Spider-Man 2, RE4.
I can see. I believe RE4 and Dead Space should definitely be on this list, by the way.
Yeah, those games were definitely deserve it. Dead Space has always been very particular about this, the just ambient fucking noise of the Ishimura and the scare chords, but also, like, all of your weapons have a unique sound. Like, there's so many good sound cues.
I just remember the sound of, like, the Ripper just grinding in the air. Just it just lives in my head.
Subtle change when you bump it into something, yeah. There's the very satisfying sound as you go pew, 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 with your plasma cutter, and then the ching when it runs empty, and you're just like, fuck, more!
Slap it in there!
And you know, the necromorphs, and there are ungodly, unholy sounds, but there's also lots of other little, you know, things in there. RE4 has some pretty good sound design.
I think it's pretty good, from, like, the Ganados to, like, other monsters, just to, you know, ambient sound as you move around. No, I think it's good. Like, honestly, I think I've talked about this before, but a lot of horror games live and die by their audio design, and RE4 did not disappoint. Also,
I think it's very telling. It might be because it was a little too close to the deadline, but you'll notice there's no COD this year. Like, Call of Duty usually makes it to this list because they have very crunchy gun effects that people like.
Gun.
And supposedly the gunplay in Modern Warfare 3 is as good as it has been. The problem is that the rest of the game is just kind of like the same as Modern Warfare 2.
Ta-da.
And the zombies mode isn't even good. But so, like, it's very interesting. But yeah, I think all of these are decently worthy performances. Oh, that's right. We had to go to fucking 6 for this one too. Best performance, which clearly we should settle with an actual battle royale fight, because Jesus Christ, all of you beautiful, wonderful people, great work. Best performance nominees are Ben Starr for Final Fantasy XVI, he's the Clive. Cameron Monaghan for Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Idris Elba for Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty. Melanie Liebert for Alan Wake 2, that's Saga's actress. Neil Newborn for Baldur's Gate 3. And Yuri Lowenthal for Marvel's Spider-Man the 2.
Any of them could win and I'd be okay with it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real.
I'm gonna say probably the only reason why Alan Wake's actors are not on this list is because he has 2 very important actors, and it was probably weird. Like, I bet when they were polling for this poll, the fact that Alan Wake technically probably split the vote. I mean, I gotta give it to my man Ben Starr, just because I want to see him. I want to see his speech on the stage when he accepts the award.
I hope when he accepted the award for fucking the Golden Joystick, he was in this 16 shirt and the most garish orange drip I've ever seen. I was like, God.
Yes, I want to see him fucking hit, just like Christopher Judge last year. I want to see Ben Starr on the Game Awards fucking rizzed out. So yeah, no, it's and he, I mean, we knew this already, but Ben Starr and Clive are like, that's one of the major selling points of 16. Like, Ben has such great range to go from, like, you know, oh, I'm just a soft boy, woo, to, like, his delivery on I'll fucking kill you is, like, in my dreams, man. And then, you can press L3 and R3 to accept the truth.
Accept the truth. And Neil Newborn, oh god, just so good as Asterion. Just so good.
Oh, Asterion's very important to a lot of people. But also, like I said, everybody in this is great. Yuri,
yes,
great actor, did a great job as Peter Parker in Spider-Man 1, and he gets to be Black Suit in Spider-Man 2, so I'm sure he's doing a lot of different range stuff. Cameron Monaghan is great in Star Wars, Jedi. And God, Idris Elba is so good in Phantom Liberty. Like, it's Idris Elba, so that's, like, what it's like, but also, like, the man the moment he is on screen, he commands presence. Even when he's not fucking on screen because he's behind you holding a gun to you, he's, like, in charge of the scene. And you can't even see his ass yet.
Johnny, can you see him?
Fuck no. I can only see what you see, dumbass.
I have never said that, but I knew exactly he would ask. That's how he would say it.
Oh, I clicked it just to see. I love how you can roleplay V, like, forgetting that Johnny's not a real boy sometimes. Sometimes Johnny forgets he's not a real boy. But yeah, no, all these people are really good. It is a zinger. Now, next, we got an interesting one because I always feel weird about this section, innovation and accessibility, because when we're looking at the nominees, the Game Awards doesn't really say what innovations these nominees did. Usually, when you're watching the pre-roll at the show, they will showcase some of the features. Like, this was one of the awards that Last of Us Part 2 won that I think it deserved, because, like, it actually had a lot of features for, like, audio stuff and colorblindness stuff that was, really interesting.
Yeah.
Was genuinely innovative. And I believe God of War got a nom for this last year, and Spider-Man 2 is on this list as well. So, like, Sony is all about a lot of these features, but I genuinely don't know what some of these other, like, games did. So your nominees are Diablo 4, Forza Motorsport, Hi-Fi Rush, Spider-Man 2, Mortal Kombat 1, Street Fighter 6.
I'm gonna shrug. Like, again, I don't actually know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I probably should have done some sort of research on it or whatnot, but you can't see. I'm just kind of flailing my hands at the moment.
Yeah, it's a big shrug. Like I said, I would probably vote for Spider-Man in this category just on the faith that Sony has been pretty good about this for their first-party studios. I believe this one did cause a little bit of a dust-up because this year was released, I believe, a game that was like, I think it was like, one of the major game designers is deaf, and it was designed with a lot of accessibility features for deaf people in mind. So, like, to be kind of missed out for all these AAA games, little sad. But yeah, I don't, that's one of those things where, like, well, did, the knowledge of this game reach the panelists? Because you do got to remember that, the jury, the panelists are just mortal men. They have some very good, solid outlets. Game Informer on here, Giant Bomb, GameSpot, Jeff Gerstmann, Kind of Funny, IGN, Polygon, Verge, Game Rant. And they got some normal outlets like Wired and NPR on here, Play UK, got some global events, got a full 8 outlets from Brazil, Canada, Chile, China, Colombia. I got some French and German outlets, so plenty of, run around there. A couple from India, a couple from Italy, quite a few from Japan. They pulled, Famitsu Dengeki and a lot of the other big ones. There's their esports friends. Okay, yeah, so, like, yeah, the panelists are, but mortals, the jury. So they can't be aware of everything all the time. And now we have everybody's other favorite 6-block weird category, Games for Impact. For a thought-provoking game with a pro-social message or meaning. This is another one that's usually just, like, weird. I appreciate the concept, but it always feels so weird when they run up these noms.
Yeah, like, I appreciate it as well, and I do like a lot of the games they do. Like, I remember, I don't believe it won, but I was a teenage Exocolonist was on it last year, and it was all like, I was like, fuck
they
yeah.
didn't win, but yeah, it's a lot of one. So your nominees are A Space for the Unbound, Chance of Sennar. There's 2 double letters in there, so I don't know. Goodbye Volcano High, Chia, Terra Nil, Venba.
It's probably going to be Terra Nil, because I also got nominated for something else. Oh yeah, As Dusk Falls won last year, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
Well, apparently people said it was really good.
But yeah, so, like, it's kind of the indie category, but kind of not. It's got a lot of, like, stuff out there. It's very vague, but I appreciate what they're doing.
Mm.
And now we have another fun one. Well, I mean, I can tell you who's going to fucking win at this rate. But Best Ongoing, Game for Outstanding Development of Ongoing Content Evolves the Player Experience Over Time. Your nominees are Apex Legend and Fortnite, duh. Genshin Impact, also duh, because I'm sure they gave Jeff Keighley lots of money. But also the real nominees, Cyberpunk 2077 and Final Fantasy 14.
14 is not going to win, by the way. I can tell you that right now.
They've won the award before, but I don't think this has been their best year.
No, like I said, it's going to win next year after Dawn Trail comes out.
Oh, no, yeah. Like, I don't know if they have a best expansion category, but I'm sure that they will, Hell, with the precedent from Phantom Liberty, we could see Dawn Trail in other categories besides Best Ongoing. Like, if the story's really good, we might see that in Best Narrative. Who knows?
True.
But yeah, no offense to 14, I've been having a blast, but I'm not in the area of content that has come out this year, so I can't really talk about, like, this specific experience. There's been other shit that I've really liked. The Fall Guys collab is fucking brilliant. They've been doing a lot with Crystalline Conflict that's nice. Though, please, for the love of God, do something about Dark Knights, please. The suck and spank is so bad. It hurts me so much.
Like I said, there's been a lot of discourse, especially in the 14 communities, about how if Endwalker's like post MSQ is actually good and worth your time, and people have been going back and forth about on it. So I can understand if 14 won't necessarily get it.
Yeah,
because it has not been. Like I said, I am okay with not having to log in every fucking day and do something for hours, but apparently other people are not.
Yeah.
I shrug.
Honestly, I think some of it's just because the content is it's weird, like, because they're still doing Ultimate, so, like, the super hardcores do have something to do, but, like, the general opinion I've heard is, like, VNC dungeons are neat, but they're, post-MSQ Endwalker content, so they're, the peak of difficulty for normal players. And some of the item level rewards are a little weird, but, yeah, we'll see how it shakes out, I think Island Sanctuary is cool on paper, but it seems to be missing something for, like, to be universally praised by the player base. But that said, I think it's gotta be 2077. Like, Fortnite right now is trying to do, like, I think a big clawback of, like, old players. They've got, like, retro modes in now, I think I read. Like, you can go back to the original version of the island or some shit. Genshin is Genshin, for sure. And Apex is Apex. Though Apex, I believe, has had some controversial, to hardcores, moves they've made about skill-based matchmaking.
Oh.
Better for casuals, but it means that streamers and people who like to farm Apex can't hope to be matched up with noobs and shitty players anymore. Oh no, you have to fight people who are as good as you. That is correct, Robin, yes. Genshin do be Genshin. I think stuff's happening, but I don't know. I don't think the Genshin fandom is melted down in a few months, but we'll see.
Honestly, I know this might offend some people, but I consider kind of Genshin Impact kind of the fucking Fortnite of gacha games. Just how it really does feel like baby's first. I
mean, I do think some people will probably be a little bothered by that, but like, we're not trying to like throw stones in a glass house here. Like, Fortnite is popular.
Yeah.
Fortnite has appeal. Fortnite makes a lot of money, but Fortnite is that way because it has a lot of like. I mean, I haven't ever played Fortnite, so I don't want to necessarily call it shallow. I don't know for sure, but like, very broadened appeal, very least common denominator. At this rate, fucking anybody can get into Fortnite because it doesn't matter what you're about. You can find some fucking skins for you. Do you want to be Thanos? Do you want to be Vegeta? Do you want to be Naruto with an AK? Beerus with a gat?
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at Robin's. Genshin is the Wii Sport of gacha games. It's like,
ooh, okay, that also might work, yes. I mean, like, I played Genshin, and the gameplay of Genshin is fun, but also the gameplay of Genshin wasn't enough to keep me playing Genshin for, every day for forever. But no, I think it's gotta be 2077. Like this, like I said, it's Cyberpunk's redemption year, and like 2.0 and Phantom Liberty have almost universally been praised as like real big turnarounds. It took them a while, but they're here.
I don't know. I'm personally, I'm thinking it's probably going to be between Apex Legends and Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
like I said, even with the like range of controversy, I do believe that people regard Apex Legends generally more favorably than Fortnite. Fortnite itself has just become a meme. Just
yes.
In general.
Fortnite exists.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Apex, I do think, is one of the better placed games and that people are not usually mad about it.
Yeah.
But so, a very similar but slightly distinct category, Best Community Support. Recognizing a game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, inclusive of social media activity, and also game updates and patches. Your nominees are Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077, Destiny 2. They're not winning. Final Fantasy 14, No Man's Sky.
Even Destiny's 2 community's like, why the fuck are we on this category?
Yeah, no. Even people who like where Destiny is at right now, even before like layoffs and shit, they're like, what the fuck is Destiny 2 or Best Community Support? Like, they're having a rough patch. They're not gonna win. This one is pretty wild. I do sadly think that much like for Best Ongoing, 14 will not win again this year.
Nah.
Because while their social media is very active, and obviously they've been doing the Fan Fest, Yoshi P is great, everything, their Duty Commenced and stuff, podcast, they're doing stuff, they're in here. The patches have not been universal zingers. Yeah. They have not been firing on all cylinders in the post X-Pack patches. So, I think once again, this is going to come down to between Baldur's Gate 3 and Cyberpunk, because Baldur's Gate also very, very quick with their patches, on the spot with their patch notes, Very active on social media.
And they're funny.
Yes.
I'm gonna be real. Seeing the narrator's voice outtakes give me life on a weekly basis.
Oh shit! They did fire the Ryoma banner. Damn.
Oh well, fuck! I'm gonna go spend me some money.
I guess I gotta.
Here we go.
I gotta hustle tomorrow. That's my bad. I didn't even think about the 5 days thing, and also that they would fire it right before they have a panel. Jesus. Okay. All right. Fine.
That's
fine. Albert. Well, time to boot up FGO. Good to get a login. But yeah, it's between Cyberpunk and Baldur's Gate because while Cyberpunk isn't as funny as Larian Studios is on their social media medias are very active. They do photo mode contests pretty regularly and reach out to people. They did a thing in the lead up to Phantom Liberty where they were like, hey, follow us and send a reply to get messages from us about when we're new trailers and stuff are coming out. And in general, they've had really good patches and updates.
Oh, son of a bitch. I really wish that FGO had let you log in on multiple devices so I could just throw this up on patrons. I do not actually have it set up on my computer right now. It's on my phone. Otherwise, I would definitely let you guys see me roll live. So I apologize for that.
It sadly takes a couple of hoopins.
It does
take a
couple of
spaghetti.
Hoops. It is.
Listen, you can't have your glamour dresser in your house because if you move it after you placed it, FGO will die.
Destroy the world. But yes, no. I am 80% sure Baldur's Gate 3 is going to win this. Their terms and services gives me life.
Yeah, no, they're really good, and I think their comedic tone with some of their stuff is going to be what keeps them memorable in people's minds.
Yeah.
So, like I said, my personal one is for Cyberpunk to get its flowers, but it's gotten way more nominations this year than the year it came out, though I once again thank people for putting it in Best RPG. It wasn't going to win, but thanks. So Best Indie Game, which has a tiny controversy in here. So Let's see if people can spot the problem. Your nominees are Cocoon by Geometric Interactive, published by Annapurna Interactive. Dave the Diver, published by Mint Rocket. Dredge by Black Salt Games and Team 17. Sea of Stars by Sabotage Studio, their first nom.
Yeah.
Viewfinder by Sad Owl Studios and Thunderful Publishing. Now, I'm going to suspect most of our patrons and a decent number of the people at home probably get, the what's wrong with this picture, because they probably heard it by osmosis. But we'll give you a few seconds just in case, as I finish my collecting all my login rewards.
Processing payment.
But the time has passed. We've done the clock meme, the Jeopardy theme, Dave the Diver's not actually an indie game. Mint Rocket is a sub-studio, but they are a subsidiary of Nexon, who are huge. I think the head of, I don't know if it's the head of Mint Rocket or the guy in charge of its development at Nexon, but literally one of the big execs behind this game says Dave the Diver might look like an indie game, but it's not. So again, the games are picked from, they poll the jury of panelists to submit their entries. The panelists might not have known, but you couldn't fact check Jeff Keighley? You couldn't double check this? So yeah, it's odd. That said, all of these games I believe are pretty good. For me, it's gonna be Sea of Stars.
Sea of Stars, definitely. Well, I got a Nitocris and a fucking Summer Okita on my first 10 spin.
What the fuck? Oh, it's because I clicked in the mid animation of it, the card rolling down. It got weird. I'm activating.
And I got a Kirky. And okay, safe. Lancer Roma, second 10 pull. We fucking done. We go home. Goodbye, everybody. And a pen.
Hey.
2 10 rolls, 3 SRs, 1 SSR.
Not quite a mid roll, but there was a 5-star C in there I needed.
I now save.
Let's put it in the pocket. If you want more rolling content, be sure to support us on Patreon and YouTube memberships. It do help. Oh god, this is gonna be, my second 10 pull is gonna be 9 fucking 4-star Cs, isn't it? How dare you sully the name of Skip Gang? Oh, it was 2 fucking 4-star Cs. Cool. All right, this is our last block. I had 3 saved up because it's early. Oh, Gold Sparks. Who will it be? This card that I did see. It's Lancer.
All done.
Hey, last 10 pull. It's Ryoma.
Safe.
Once again, we can go home. Sick. Rad. Okay.
Now
cool.
I save for a month for fucking, actually, month and a half.
Yeah, you got a little bit of a long time. Hey, buddy.
Unfortunately, I definitely, as much as I like Room, and Okuni, I can't go more than MP1. I got, my bank account will not be happy.
All right. God, that was, with the exception of Ryoma, that last 10 spin was a mid-roll. It's all 3-star servants or CEs and 1 4-star. Jesus Christ. Ooh, well, we made it. Okay, we're safe. All right, best debut indie game, which I also appreciate they do this. Best debut game by an independent studio. They shake it up a little. So this is very similar to the last one. We got a few more. You've got Cocoon once again, Dredge once again, Pizza Tower by Tour to Pizza, Venba, which was in Games for Impact, and Viewfinder once again.
Yeah, people will not realize, but Sea of Stars was not Sabotage Studios' first game. It is actually Sea of Stars takes place in the same universe as another one of the games. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, unfortunately.
I'm pretty sure at least one, if not multiple people in patron chat will remember. But yeah, so this was gonna be interesting. I don't know much about Cocoon. I'd probably lean towards Dredge, maybe Pizza Tower for the sheer memeology. But I remember Dredge being pretty popular. Oh, sorry, I clicked to the next one, and that means it's time for our favorite category, Best Mobile Game. The only qualifier, Best Game Playable on a Mobile Device.
Lucky has just cracked his nuts, because I'm about to tear some people a new one.
Okay, so, our nominees are Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis by Applebot and Square Enix. Fair enough, it's not on Steam yet. Hello Kitty Island Adventure by Sunblink Entertainment.
I feel like it's on there merely because it's a meme.
Literally never. I don't remember anything about this, even memes. Honkai Star Rail, so not Genshin again, at least. And I think, I don't know if this is Honkai's only nom. But we finally dropped Genshin from this category, thank you. Monster Hunter Now, by Niantic and Capcom, so it's Pokemon Go, but Monster Hunter. Niantic can literally only make one game. That's right, Chad, I fucking said it. They know what their problem is. And Terra Nil, by Free Lives, published through Netflix. So this is their second nom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I think I've talked about this before. I have made my peace with certain games like, Vagrant Order and other such things not getting nominations. They're kind of weird when you realize how they're released. We didn't get a global version until 2 years after the original version. So, that might be some fucky-wucky stuff happening. There's literally 2 timelines happening. Maybe that stuff fucks things up. But there is a game that I am actually playing right now on the PC client that I hold near and dear, and I praise the high of heaven to anyone I can, and that is Nikkei Goddess of Victory, the game that is all about ass and tits. People have probably seen the thing before. It is published by Shift Up, a Korean game development studio who is also known for developing Stellar Blade, the Korean fucking Nier Automata, people are calling it. It is not on this list, and I find that to be not just a snub, but an actual fucking crime.
Yeah, it came out this year. The people making these submissions.
It came out last year. It came out November 11th of last year.
I do believe that still is that.
I do believe that it may or may not be in it, but it wasn't nominated last year either. It might have been too new back then, but Nikkei has actually won several fucking awards and nominations for how it is. It won Famouse's Best New App. It recently got nominated for Best RPG by the Pocket Game Awards. In the South Korean awards, it won Best Game in Excellence and Best Technology for Character Design because it uses Live 2D spine technology. I was actually looking into this. I think it might have not gotten known because people just don't look at it. Like actual outlets. It does, believe it or not, it does not have a Metacritic score. It just does not.
Well, I suppose I don't. I would have to double check if Genshin and Honkai do as well, but I suspect a lot of the style of those kinds of games would make it hard to do a traditional review. Because how would you review FGO the day it came out for Metacritic, right? It would be weird because you wouldn't even have all the story.
Yeah.
So it would be odd because everything is kind of, I wanted to say piecemeal. That's not quite the right word, but it's all, rolling release. It's a gradual expansion. It's an ongoing process.
Yeah, but guess what? What do you think that fucking Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis is doing?
True. That is also being published sequentially.
Same with same with fucking Honkai Star Rail. Is all the story of that out?
Nope.
Probably fucking not. You can't see it, but I am pointing in vague directions as I imagine things here. Because this genuinely upset me. Because I do think that Nikkei gets a lot of. Oh, what's up?
Sorry, I checked if Ever Crisis had a Metacritic score. It does. It's real bad. I don't know why it's real bad. What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's 66 on Metacritic with user rating of 3.6. What? What are? Huh?
Well, how many? Better question. How many reviews does it have?
Oh, it's only based on 10 critic reviews. Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing I've noticed. Some mobile gacha games usually don't get like very high. Like, don't get a lot of people reviewing them. They don't got like while they are reported in like news outlets, it's usually very small. It's very small articles or just updates about things. Like I was looking up for I was trying to find Nikkei news because I was trying to figure out why the fuck it is. Usually it's just reports on events that are happening. Like they report on the half anniversary, the Nier collab, the Chainsaw Man collab, and the 1 year anniversary collab. You don't really see a lot of other traction from it. And yeah, I do maybe think that because it is a game that is flamboyant in its sexuality. Like I said, there are very many characters that will enter a sexual relationship with your main character. There are tits and ass galore. Even the guys kind of get this treatment. People thirst for Anderson. The thirst is real. And the game developers know this because they give you even more thirsty Anderson to go with, and you're like, yes.
But like, I mean, that is true. But also, like I said, when I Google image search Nikkei and like I see like production and promo images, like some do show some of the more flattering aspects of the character designs. But honestly, a lot of the way they do their own promo, at least the way that circulates, is like pretty normal. I mean, like, some people are kind of like turbo prudes, like gasp, an armpit, gasp, a thigh gap. Like
no, like Nikkei does not shine away from making sexy characters, but they do not sell the focus on the sexy characters. Like one of the things, like their community is actually fairly involved. Like honestly, if I had my way, I probably would have thrown Nikkei in things like best community and best music. Actually, fucking Nikkei's soundtrack is phenomenal, but not
actually. Here's a very good question.
What's up?
Nikkei's technically global.
Yep.
How global?
It had okay. When it came out, it had the global server, Korean server, Japanese server, American server, and I think they had one more. It launched with 5 servers.
Okay, because I just early reviewed the jury list, and the Game Awards is usually pretty good about circulating to, like I said, not just America and Japan, right? Like they've got multiple outlets from UK, Europe, quite a lot of Brazilian and other South American outlets and stuff, other parts of Asia. I'm wondering, if just some of those places don't, do they have, Nikkei and whatever? I assume they have normal Google App Store in Brazil, but I don't actually know what their regulations are like.
I don't know.
Is that a barrier to entry of, knowledge where, if you pay attention to, profits of mobile games and stuff and report on them, you probably know Nikkei's, out there. You may have heard that it's pretty cool.
If I remember correctly, in the past few recent months, Nikkei has been in our oeuvre of gacha games. I'm pretty sure not every mobile game in it, but the ones that we know, like FGO, Azure Lane. Nikkei has actually been in the top 5 to 10 in profit revenue among all I think it's a 30 game list. It does very well. When we had our 1 year anniversary, they did dual streams. They had one in English, one in Japanese. And guess what? Combined, it had over 100. They had over 100,000 viewers. It's they had a fucking drone show, for crying out loud. It's Nikkei is not necessarily a small thing. They have ads in Japan. They have ads in Korea. They have they're at Anime NYC right now. They actually got a booth there. I wish I could go. I would buy so much fucking merch. All the Annis merch give. It's it is Nikkei is not a small deal. And I don't know, it just gets to me in such a way that somehow this has just slipped underneath the radar. Even if it got nothing else, but I just wanted it to get the fucking mobile game knob.
Especially because mobile game is always such a fucking embarrassment.
It really is.
It's full of terrible shit. Okay, Terra Nil, that was on Games for Impact. That's probably good, right?
That's probably good.
Going on there.
I might look into that, actually.
Ever Crisis is... it's shockingly super high production value. I think, Square's taking it very seriously. Or Applebot is. I don't know, But Square's letting them use all their fucking remake assets and shit. So,
Well, yeah,
okay,
but here's the thing about Ever Crisis. It's just the fucking, Near Reincarnation with a fucking Final Fantasy VII skin. That's all it is.
Yeah, and that's a shame, because it's like, should people know more about Nier Reincarnation? Probably.
Like, I'm pretty sure Nier Reincarnation didn't get a fucking nom, and that has fucking Yoko Taro's fairy storytelling in it.
But
I don't know.
Like I said, literally never heard of Kitty Adventure, and like, Monster Hunter now is just fucking Pokemon Go with Monster Hunter. Niantic's not that cool, guys. They've even like, I've even heard stories of how they're switching to like, Ultra Whale, get in there. Also, yes, I think Honkai and Genshin are cheating, because I don't know who the fuck would play them on a mobile. Lucky and I desperately want to be able to play Ever Crisis on PC, but can't yet.
I really do. None of my fucking devices want to run it for some reason.
But that at least is at the moment of this release exclusive to phones and tablets. They haven't finished the Steam release yet. But it is technically playable on a mobile device, and like I said, I understand that like some of this has to do with like where the Game Awards bread is buttered. I think Hoyoverse has always been really good about giving them trailers and like sponsorships and shit.
Hang on one second. Chris, that's a lie. I've seen a lot of kids on the bus. They're all fucking watching TikTok and fucking Facebook videos. All of them.
Yeah. Also, I even from my limited experience of the gaming sphere. Also, yes, I don't know if I would say scum, but like, I've watched TikTok compilations on YouTube, and I'm like, I don't know how anybody could watch this in-app. It's so fucking... Even for me, as, how I came up and constantly multitasking, it's way too, like, fucking fast-paced, weird, hard-cut shit, and I'm just like, what? It starts, it's over, there's the next one, there's a fucking logo call to take you out of it. Anyway, what I was saying was, even in my limited experience of the gaming sphere, I only follow a couple of outlets, but those people I do are usually aware of phone games. Sorry, sneeze break. They're aware of these mobile games. Some of them play them. Some of them try that out. Generally, I do think that the wider gaming press is a little leery of them, because a lot of these gacha-style games models are kind of like, we're still in that phase of like, is this predatory or not? Some of those things have been regulated in certain locales. But gacha games still function even where the rest of the gaming industry is, moving on to different monetization aspects and stuff. And like, it's a thing that's out there, and I think some of them are aware. I do kind of wonder if this is kind of like, it's similar to kind of like the break in like stuff like ongoing games. Like, yeah, 14 usually gets a nomination every year, but not a lot of other MMO type stuff do. Because I wonder if it's the kind of thing where, like, the gaming press just knows 14 is good, right? Like, you've just heard of it. You know it's good. Fucking, you can look at Yoshi P. He's on stage. He's doing fucking giant keynotes in Vegas and London and shit. We made our jokes about the fucking Vegas orb, calling for the raid wide. You better watch out when it does the fucking Earthshaker beams or the meteor drops. When the DPS gets that meteor drop from Ozma, you better fucking move over, or I will not bring you back to life. But, like, so people know about it. Games like Nikkei, they are kind of like log-in everyday games, right? So without additional press, I don't know if it'll get there. I don't know if Honkai Star Rail's gonna win, right? Because, like, while they are widely advertised, their ads are fucking insufferable. Everybody hates them. But I don't know. I mean, I don't want to be, like, conspiracy brain, but also I know that Hoyoverse has more money than God. Sorry, I almost said something mean that would have been unnecessary. I haven't ever played Star Rail, so I shouldn't talk shit. It's turn-based, so people like that. I was gonna say, certainly they have more money than talent. No, it's fine. I shouldn't be that mean. Like I said, I don't know what I'm talking about. But, like, there certainly is room for the Gamer Conspiracy Board to break out, and I know the Gamer Conspiracy Board is fucking dumb and bad. The gamers are still like, oh, this game is just, repackaged DLC. That's almost never true. When it is true, they usually tell you. You want to know what repackaged DLC is? Like a Dragon Gaiden. Still great. I've seen some footage. Looks great. You ever wanted to fucking throw bombs at people as Kiryu and blow their asses up? Sorry, Joryu. Do you ever want Joryu to summon 9 million drones to peck a man to death? But, like, Hoyo is out there. They're putting their name out there. They are doing previews with outlets. I think they've done, like, sponsored streams of, like, news and media outlets and stuff. And that's something that I do kind of feel like gacha games haven't broken out into. FGO is probably the closest with their integration of, like, conventions, But unless, like, and I don't know, like, where that responsibility comes in, but unless, like, you know, FGO would want to, like, sit down and do some real sponsored content. I know they tried a little with HoloLive, but that was just, like, a little discussion panel in English. Obviously, in JP, you have several, like, HoloLive VTubers just straight up playing FGO. But, like, unless they're gonna, like, do that out there, I don't know if they're gonna get the kind of vibes we want them to get. Because, like, I feel like they're missing that magical something. And it is absolutely a snub. It is... I haven't played that much Nikkei. It did have a bit of a buggy launch when it launched. But I understand this game is very well crafted. And it has all the right aspects for a good video game. And I don't think that it's like... or rather, I'll say this way. The only person being exploited by how horny it is you, the customer. If you are vulnerable, that's who's being exploited. If not, the characters all seem like they're, you know, perfectly confident, self-realized characters. They do not exist just so you can stare at their tits and ass. They also have the complexities of being hard as fuck in gameplay you gotta work through, and, you know, the game immediately jumped in with the heavy-hitting emotional beats, you know, that's I've gotten far enough to get into that. But, like, yeah, no, I think it should absolutely have gotten a nom, especially over fucking Monster Hunter Now? Really? Really? Guys, let Pokemon Go die. Let Niantic make a second idea. Or perish. They're probably going to perish, BT dubs. Like I said, I've been reading some stories. Pokemon Go's not in a great way.
I remember Ingress, guys. Guess what that game was? You go to a certain place and you do things.
Yeah, Pokemon Go is just their Ingress, like, engine, but with a breakout. But okay, we shouldn't. We have hit the 2.5 hour mark. We shouldn't linger over long because, like, Lucky wants to go watch Scott Pilgrim. I might want to go watch Scott Pilgrim again. I probably want to mention it a little, but yeah. Yeah,
let's I do believe I got out what I say. Nikkei, actually very good. Why is it not on here? Don't fucking know why.
Yeah.
Oh, so
basically, chat, you should support us more and send us through the roof of content creation so we can fucking give Nikkei the flowers it deserves. We can be that outlet. Tell all your friends, get us 9 bajillion subscribers, and we can be the panelists on the Video Game Awards. No, don't actually do that. We wouldn't know what the fuck to do with half these categories either. Lucky, you played any good fighting games this year? No. Shit. What do we put for best fighting game?
I'm sorry, I just think it's like... just be like the Family Guy skit. It's like, hey, Lucky, over there. How's the fighting game situation look like? They fought him!
Yeah, if you like that. Best VR and AR. Best game experience playable in virtual or augmented reality, irrespective of platform, including if you can play it out of VR, funnily enough. But your nominees are Gran Turismo 7 by Polyphony and Sony Entertainment. So yes, apparently Gran Turismo 7 had a VR mode. I'm sure it's very car, much speed. Horizon Call of the Mountain, Humanity, Resident Evil Village VR mode, and Synapse. Once again, Xbox has compatibility with a VR headset, right? Like, can you Oculus on Xbox or something?
I don't know.
Can you Meta Quest? I'm asking chat. Yeah.
Actually, has Resident Evil 4 VR not come out?
I don't remember if it has.
Actually, let me double check that.
Did the VR mode come out? It might not have. I know they're promoting it. I think the DLC came out first. But, like, you'll notice that I'm pretty sure most of these are PlayStation exclusives. So I think PSVR 2 is doing pretty good. I know there were some doubters, but Gran Turismo, obviously it helps that some of these, like I said, can be played out of VR. You don't have to play Humanity in VR or AR at all, but it's a fun puzzle game, and I bet it's, like, more immersive in VR. That would be my personal pick, by the way. I haven't beaten it, but I've played a decent chunk of Humanity since it was day and date, and it's what I want out of that sort of game, that kind of puzzler.
Yeah, it came out for 20th. Interesting.
Interesting. Interesting that we did not get those vibs.
All right, but I have no particular. Like I said, I don't have VR, so I have no input on this.
Now we're getting into the genres, which is where shit gets a little sketchum.
Sketch.
You know, things get a little more focused. Things can get a little weirder. So, best action game. For best game in the action genre, focused primarily on combat. Your nominees: Armored Core 6, Dead Island 2 nom, first nom, Ghost Runner 2, Hi-Fi Rush, Remnant 2. So this is also, I said, Dead Island 2, first nom. This is also Armored Core 6's first nomination. Not necessarily to the degree that I think 16 got left out of Game of the Year, but oddly enough, despite the fact that FromSoft is usually the video game awards darling, Sekiro and Elden Ring have won Game of the Years. I think, did Bloodborne win Game of the Year that year? I don't remember.
I believe so.
But From usually does really good at these.
They got filtered by Baltius.
Yeah, I guess they did get filtered by Baltius, but like Armored Core, it doesn't have a lot of noms, and it was a big thing. Like, people were very hyped for this game. I think you are correct, Lucky. I think the general gaming media got filtered, and Armored Core is a lot more filterable than I think other more recent FromSofts are. Maybe not as much as like Dark Souls 3. Gunder is like a crazy filter. But once again, literally, he is a boss that in order to get to leveling up, you have to defeat. So your only thing to do is to get good at the game. In like the normal way, not the condescending way. Like, you actually have to learn how to play the game in your starting build to beat that guy. Because there's no way you can just level grind yourself out of it. But yeah, I do kind of feel like in their haste to give Zelda possibly a few too many noms, Armored Core may have been skipped for some of these. It's got a pretty good soundtrack. It's got very distinct art style. Maybe should have gotten the nom for narrative. Like, the narration's pretty minimal, but they do got a lot of interesting things going on with like looping you through the new game pluses that I understand. So like, yeah, it seems like it's kind of a shame that it didn't get any noms previous to this, but I suspect it will probably take it in best action game here.
Looking at the other ones, all these other ones are good, but no, I'm pretty sure Armored Core 6 is going to win this one. Dead Island 2 is fun, but it's safe. It doesn't do anything super crazy. Remnant 2 is kind of the same way. Unfortunately, I haven't played Ghost Runner 2 or Hi-Fi Rush to fully weigh in on that, but I think the Armored Core is just too strong in general. That is me personal opinion.
Yeah, I haven't played Ghost Runner 2, so I don't know, but that's another, like, probably a strong one. Hi-Fi Rush, seems like it's doing stuff, but Armored Core has the advantage that out of those other, like, 2 or 3, I guess 3 total frontliners, this is the one that's not an exclusive to anything. Like, Ghost Runner 2 is, I believe, PlayStation exclusive. It's like a first-party game, and Hi-Fi Rush was, on Xbox and PC. So, like, Armored Core, I think, Armored Core is also last gen. So I think Armored Core has a broader appeal. It's gonna bring it up. Best action adventure. So, specifically, action adventure, game combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving. Your nominees: Alan Wake 2, Marvel Spider-Man 2. There's really fun traversal, but I don't know if there's puzzles in Spider-Man 2. I don't remember really any puzzles in Spider-Man 1 that weren't just like, hey, can you point the first-person camera in the right spot? Can you climb this building? RE4, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I have strong suspicions that, as Tears is gonna win somehow again, because fucking Breath won in this category. But like,
I mean, to be fair, I think it's kind of warranted.
It's a solid nomination.
It is. Like I said, again, the thing they did with the depths, the fucking Sky Island, the robot things, all the little puzzle things,
new combat options. If we're just saying, okay, we're defining action adventure as the crossroads of combat, traversal, and puzzles.
Yeah,
it's Zelda.
It is. It really is.
And their traversal game really got leveled up. Not necessarily maybe in all the ways that we wanted, but it did get better. They added a lot of new shit.
Yeah.
I mean, as always, I will push for Alan Wake 2 sweep, but the combat does seem kind of like not super advanced. They're like, it's a survival horror game. We can kick your ass if we feel like it.
They really can, and they're not afraid to do it. I die a lot.
Not necessarily like, I don't want to say lazy. This is another myth of video games. Almost always, developers aren't lazy. If a AAA video game got made, nobody was lazy. So much money and time went into making that thing, okay? Stuff gets lost in translation, stuff gets cut in, quality assurance, stuff doesn't go through quality assurance, all kinds of things happen. So I don't want to say it's lazy, but I think that Alan Wake knew that they were not going to necessarily be the best game ever at combat, and we're just like, we're just going to do some bog standard combat stuff for survival horror, and we're going to focus on the parts that we can really focus on, It's alright, but it could be better. But, and I do, I don't know if Spider-Man 2 did better in those aspects. I mean, I would say that technically I would rate that as an action-adventure game, but is it peak of those three? I don't know. Like, it's got really good traversal, but like I said, I don't... Unless they really broke out puzzles in the original Spider-Man, I didn't feel like were real standouts. So, I still haven't gotten around to playing Jedi Survivor. I know you played it, Lucky. How do you feel about where that comes down on the triangle?
It's... Honestly, I want to say it's really high in all of them.
That's good. Like, that sounds like it's forming a triangle of its own.
Yeah, it really is. Like, the puzzles, there are puzzles, and they're never really, like, super crazy. They're usually, like, very self-contained, like most puzzles are. But exploring and traversal is just fun. There's, like, so many more just open areas now. Really good. And, like, in Variety, there's, like, a lot of reasons to go, backtrack among areas when you, like, find new abilities or, like, tools or gadgets.
Traversal in the first, God, I can't remember. What the fuck did we call the first game? Was it Outcast?
Yeah, it's Outcast.
Yeah. Like, because my first instinct is say Jedi Outcast, and they're like, wait, wasn't that a different game? It's the naming convention is a little odd, but yeah, the first one, Outcast, was like that was already like really immersive with its like traversal and atmospheres, even if it was a little narrow at points. But like,
and like I said, and combo is like interesting. They actually added like 2 new lightsaber forms. They added the fucking the unstable fucking lightsaber claymore, and they added fucking my fucking favorite lightsaber and gun. And
so we've hit the true Yakuza stance system. We've got all 4.
It really is. But and like I said, and the combat is good because guess what? It's still it's a fucking Star Wars game. You like rely on the Force, so you can like throw people. You can deflect bolts. You can do all sorts of combo, and it's just fun. There's like with the anime variety too. There's just like I know some people get like off put them, but I love Q2Es. I love QTEs when you just hit a button and you use something fucking wicked.
I mean, I think they got overused once they were invented, but like there's a purpose to them. There's a reason why they exist because it's like it makes the cutscenes more immersive. There are still so many games where people are just like, oh, cutscene, I put my controller down.
But yeah.
And then RE4 does also have really good strengths in those areas, and like I know it's based on a previous game, but they did rebuild it again from the ground up. Like
they did rebuild it from the ground up.
The combat is different. The puzzles are different, and all of them are pretty good. Like RE4 was a fun game to play. So this is a really strong category overall.
I'm not entirely sure who's gonna win.
Yeah, I suspect Zelda may get the edge out just for the brand recognition, but I could also see where like enough of the public and panelists are like, I'm not voting for Resident Evil 4's Game of the Year, but I will give it Best Action Adventure. That happens a lot where games where like there's this split where like enough people are like, okay, that's not Game of the Year, but it is like a really good game. So
yeah.
All right. Now the most stacked category of all time: Best RPG.
Jesus.
Best game design with a rich player character customization and progression, including massively multiplayer experiences. Your nominees are Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 16, Lies of P, Sea of Stars, Starfield. Now, there are some people who say that we should have pushed 16 to like best action. I know it's not the customization and the progression may not be the richest, but it's there. Like you do have slots, you do level. We all wish that we could have other player characters to switch to besides Clive, but it's got the RPG parts to it, and boy does it have all the RPG quotes. It has the tropes. I punched God, literally punched him. Fuck him. But again, also shout out to Sea of Stars. Their second nom overall. I believe their maximum, but they got to go to Best RPG. They're up here with Final Fantasy 16, Baldur's Gate, Starfield, and Lies of P, y'all. Like, damn.
I'm gonna tell you right now, it's gonna be Baldur's Gate 3, though.
Oh, I'm almost assuredly. Like, I think out of all of them, because, like, Sea of Stars is, unfortunately, a little small. It is an indie title. I don't know if it's gonna reach all the people. I think it's fairly solid, for the most part, in terms of its RPG mechanics. It's got some stuff going on. It's a pure RPG. But it's also a pure RPG? Baldur's Gate. And, boy howdy is it an RPG. Like, you want to talk about rich customization and progression. Baldur's Gate's based on D&D, so it's got a lot there.
5th edition to be exact.
Yes. And so, obviously, like, my personal push is going to be for 16. But, like, first of all, any of these, probably deserved. I do kind of like Chocolate Starfield's only nom being in here, but like it's Skyrim in space, and that is a thing. Like that is a powerful thing to have. But like, yeah, no, this is a fucking slammer. Oh, was Sea of Stars also in Game Pass? Okay, it got around, so it might have some exposure. We'll see if it wins out over the pure like media powerhouse that is Baldur's Gate 3 as well. But like, all these are great. I think again, the only reason why I wouldn't edge towards favoring 16 or Lies of P is those are definitely firmly in the action RPG square. So next genre, best fighting game. Actually, all fighting games this year, I believe. Your nominees are God of Rock by Modus Studios Brazil, Mortal Kombat 1 by NetherRealm, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2 by 3 games, I see, Ludosity, Fairplay Gate Labs, and Game Mill Entertainment, Pocket Bravery by Cetera Studio, Street Fighter 6. Haven't played any of these games, but I'm sure all of them deserve to be here. Honestly, I've heard some people kind of surprised that Street Fighter 6 also didn't get a Game of the Year, like over RE4. It is apparently, like, just in general, a really well-made game all around. I do think that, like, possibly the fact that it is a fighting game that people do not realize just how comprehensively good it is. Like, fighting games is one of those areas where I think that, like, the fighting game community kind of puts some people off sometimes. Like, they don't realize that you can casually play fighting games. But
I'm gonna be real, I know I can casually play fighting games. I'm still leery about playing fucking fighting games.
Yeah, it feels like a lot sometimes. I'm personally gonna push for Street Fighter 6. That's on my list to still play in my backlog. But I can see Enter Mortal Kombat 1 winning.
That's probably the ones I'm gonna assume. I do hear that the Nickelodeon Bash 2 is actually very good.
Yeah, I could see that one scooping out suddenly, because sometimes these kind of mascot fighters get in there. But yeah, I think there's enough production value and press over Combat 1 and there. All right, kids, are you ready for the Nintendo category?
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, not quite. This is Best Family is actually pretty diverse this year, but Best Family. Best game appropriate for family play, irrespective of genre or platform, and your nominees are Disney Illusion Island by the studios in Disney. Previews of that did look good. Party Animals by Recreate Games. I guess that finally came out officially. Pikmin 4 by Nintendo. Sonic Superstars. And Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Boy, Mario and Sonic going head-to-head again. What a year.
Pretty sure it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be Wonder, though.
It's gonna be Wonder. It's gonna be Pikmin 4 for sure. And I think Wonder probably has the recency bias behind it. But yeah, no. Solid category. Best sim strategy game. Once again, you know, this zone being combined because like there's not this year's light on the sim. There's not a Microsoft Flight Sim in here. Heavy on the strategy today. Your nominees are Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp, because that actually came out.
Finally.
City Skylines 2. It will probably not be Skylines 2, just because I hear that Skylines 2 is like still unoptimized as fuck. Company of Heroes 3. Not Resident Evil. Fire Emblem Engage. Don't know why I started saying Resident. Probably
Resident Evil Engage.
Relic Entertainment. I was thinking No, it's Fee Engage, and also Pikmin 4. I don't really have a dog in this fight. Like, I hear Engage is really good, but it doesn't seem to have, like, gripped the mind space that the discourse on Three Houses did. People are still fucking talking about, like, Three Houses. There's still an argument about whether Edelgard did nothing wrong or whether she's the worst. But spoilers, you're both wrong, by the way. Edelgard has in fact done wrong things. She is a dumbass, but also, she's not literally Satan. At least not in her route. But, like, I hear Engage is good. I don't know. Like I said, I couldn't get into it, even with redraw.
I am leaning towards Pikmin 4, personally. It did have a solid amount of good reviews, and people did talk about it for a while.
Oh, and it was super hyped. Like, people, like, not necessarily by Nintendo, but people got really into, like, holy shit, Pikmin 4, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, it's a thing. I don't think Advance Wars is going to win. No offense to Advance Wars. And like I said, Skylines 2, I think, is getting some bad press because, like I said, it does seem to be very unoptimized. It's running clunky as fuck.
As fuck.
Best sports/racing games. Not quite an even split, but we're trying. Though somehow EA has 2 noms on this list for, you know, a few different things. But we've got... Actually, no, technically this is mostly racing. But one of them is officially endorsed racing sports, so it's kind of like a crossover. You have EA Sports FC 24, because they lost the FIFA license. That said, I do believe the game is still solid if you want to play that style of EA game. It's just, like I said, they don't have the official FIFA endorsement, because I think FIFA thinks they can make their own game. F1 23, so that's F1 Racing, also by Codemasters/EA Sports. Forza Motorsports, another Xbox nom. Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharged, and the Crew Motorfest. I don't know if the Crew Motorfest is doing okay, but, Ubi's on this list. I do believe, Robin, talking about Three Houses. Three Houses has a problem with repetitiveness in its maps, in some routes. I did not have this issue playing Crimson Flames, but apparently that's the thing Crimson Flames is known for, it has fewer chapters, but it has better maps. I don't fucking know, as always with, racing and sports, right? No,
I'm gonna just go with Forza, because Forza usually seems to be the best of this, usually.
Yeah, they usually get these winners. Okay, here's another weird one. Best multiplayer for outstanding online multiplayer gameplay and design, including co-op, massive multiplayer, irrespective of genre or platform. Your nominees: Baldur's Gate 3,
Co-op is
Diablo
fun.
4, Party Animals,
No
Street
idea.
Fighter 6, Super Mario Bros. Wonder.
Woohoo!
This is a weird one. I almost feel a little bit like Baldur's Gate 3 is cheating, but co-op is fun.
Co-op is fun.
And they made it work. Which is more going to be said for FromSoft games sometime. Heyo! I said it. I'm hoping that fucking From learns from that seamless co-op mod of Elden Ring. They can just make seamless co-op and it doesn't fucking ruin the game. Diablo 4 is funny. I do kind of feel like there were some changes to the Diablo 4 setup and the loot grind that maybe make it not worth that time. Party Animals is very popular, and Street Fighter 6 is good, so I don't know. This one's tough. Sorry.
I'm probably going to lean on Baldur's Gate 3, honestly, again.
Yeah, it could be.
If not that, probably Street Fighter 6. I don't think
Alright.
many people play Super Mario Wonders for the multiplayer aspect.
Yeah.
I think they just enjoy a good Mario experience.
Yeah. Now another one that's got a slight controversy. Best adaptation. Recognizing astounding creative work that is faithfully and authentically adapted a video game to another entertainment medium. Your nominees: Castlevania Nocturne. That's my fucking vote, by the way. Gran Turismo, which, hey, this is the controversy. The Gran Turismo movie is an adaptation of real-life events. Because they did Gran Turismo and Sony did actually do this contest in real life, funnily enough. Last of Us, PlayStation Studios and HBO. The Super Mario Bros. Movie, somehow Twisted Metal made this.
I heard Twisted Metal wasn't the worst.
Not the worst, but also some people were not into it. I mean, it's Twisted Metal, so that's probably, for sure's. And it was a fucking co-op with Peacock, NBC streaming platform, so weird. It's going to be Last of Us or Mario.
Are you sure? I think Nocturne has a fair shot.
I
do agree that it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be either gonna be Nocturne or fucking Last of Us. Probably The Last of Us.
I don't want to necessarily underestimate how popular Super Mario was with people at home. It did pretty good. It kind of surprised the people, including me, that it did pretty well. But I don't know if Naughty Dog's own missteps. Looking at you, Last of Us Part 2 Remaster just announced today.
Why? Honestly, I feel like that's probably a really bad move, because that's going to be on people's mind. They're just going to be like, why?
Yeah, it's... even with Naughty Dog's missteps, I don't know if it can beat it, but, I know there's going to be some snarky people at home who are going to be like, oh, Castlevania Nocturne's not a faithfully adaptation. Yeah, it's because old Castlevania games are very simple, chat. Don't you fucking lie to me. They're very
Honestly,
simplistic.
I'm actually a little surprised that Captain Laserhawk didn't make the list, because while it's not a straight adaptation, it does take a lot of video game moments, characters, vibes.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume it's not necessarily because of lack of favoritism for Ubisoft. I know Ubisoft has been kind of in the dog shit sometime, but they've gotten some noms earlier. I'm gonna assume that it's probably because it is a pastiche of multiple video games is probably why it wasn't focused. All of these are adaptations of actual stories. They're loose in some case, but they're going for a lot of these feats, except for Gran Turismo, like I said, which is just a real life story. I personally probably would go for just dropping Gran Turismo and then putting Laserhawk in there. Also, yes, the Five Nights movie did not make it in. I could see that being chalked up to Five Nights fatigue. The movie does seem to be doing very well as a movie, but I don't know, honestly, man.
I'm sorry, I literally forgot about the Five Nights movie.
Yeah, it happened. It probably, if we're talking about adaptation, deserves to be on this list more than Gran Turismo again.
I would agree with that, yeah.
But it's the game. Did the gaming press who are all mostly adults, did they go out and see Five Nights, the movie? I don't know. Some of them did, for sure. But we may lack that crossover. Here is a humdinger of a category, most anticipated game. Your nominees: Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Hades 2, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, Star Wars Outlaws, again speaking of Ubisoft getting some mentions, Tekken 8. Little surprised Tekken 8 made it over like P3R.
Okay, I'm gonna be real. I'm not surprised about Tekken 8. I've been talking to some folk. People, especially in fighting game spheres, are actually very hyped for Tekken 8.
Oh, yes, no. Like, I don't think that Tekken 8 is undeserving. I'm just surprised that there was enough crossover with the general gaming media to, like, pick up on it. Because I do feel like Tekken 8's pretty hype.
Unfortunately, in my opinion, as much as I like the Star Wars franchise, I think that Star Wars Outlaws should probably not be on this list.
Yeah, we've had, like, one trailer. We don't know a lot.
We've had one tech trailer.
People are still pretty excited, and I do believe this is this the project they ended up reusing some stuff that, like, Amy Hennig and other people were working on?
I have no idea.
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
I don't know. It's a Star Wars game. Star Wars games are, like, both good and bad, so we'll see. It's Ubisoft's first crack at it, so I don't know. All the rest of these absolutely deserved. I think 7 Rebirth is absolutely gonna fucking win. It is going to be a fucking beat up. Like,
yeah.
Every time I think, oh, 7 Rebirth doesn't need to do any more press tours. Square Enix is like, hello, it's a new week. We're doing a new round of press events. Look at Kujata. Hey. Look at these fucking characters.
Hey,
do you remember Priscilla from Junon? Do you remember Chocobo Billy? Do you remember Chocobo Billy's fucking sister?
I think just today or yesterday they released images of Aerith with the high wind. They even do like some comparisons. It's just like, oh,
they did the mock-up image. Yes, that was today. That press also included Chocobo Billy and stuff like that. Hey, here's the innkeeper at Calm. He's a guy now. He's like a fucking real character, and we're just like, oh shit, new character, new Blorbo. Who this? And also like, I mean, of course, Hades 2 deserves it absolutely. That was a Game Awards reveal trailer last year. It was a great fucking trailer. People are excited. I know that they had to delay their beta till next year, but fucking people are hype. They're hypola. And I do also think that Infinite, like, Ryuga Gotoku's really been climbing up there in terms of, like, studio mindspace. I think they're really starting to stand on their own as, like, I know that they were always a big deal, but I do feel like the Yakuza games were more niche until recently.
They really were.
But they're really breaking out.
I don't know for exactly sure, because unfortunately, like I said, I'm really behind on my Yakuza games and between, like, 3 and 5, I really wasn't in there. But when 6 came out, I feel like there was this big Yakuza resurgence. I really do. And then when like 7 and Judgment came out, it's like that's when people really started paying attention.
Let me pull up the fucking list so I can see the chronology here. So let's fucking scribble. Okay, so Okay, so yes, no, I think you're right. You know why 6 would have been that big resurgence? Same year was Kiwami 1.
That probably would
and
be,
just 1 year before was 0.
Okay.
So like you have 0 for the prequel, Kiwami for the remake, and then 6 for like the capper, I say, on the Kiryu story. Next year Kiwami 2, and then they remastered 3 so you could get access to it. That was the year Judgment came out. That was 18. That's when they did the Fist of the North Star game as well. And just like they have been systematically remastering and re-releasing their Yakuza games after like Kiwami 1 and then 6 came out. Not like full remakes, but remastering.
I actually do want to agree with Robin here. I think like VTubers like Coco and even K-san have also like contributed to its popularity.
Be glad that she is not afraid of meat space tubing, but like K-san is fucking in Like a Dragon Gaiden.
Yeah.
Like literally she's in it because for the Hostess minigame they did fucking FMV segments. It's guys, I've watched that segment play out. It is fucking surreal. One, to see K-san in person as like a hostess in a Yakuza game. And to hear her fucking her intro is like, I'm sorry if my Japanese is weird. And Kiryu Kazuma could be like, well, sorry, Joryu. I gotta keep my consistency. Joryu can be like, don't worry, baby, I'll teach you. And then I can help you practice, man. But then, like, one of your positive responses is you can fucking talk to her. Her alias, by the way, in game as the hostess is just K, spelled out, like, phonetically. You can talk to her about pizza, and she's like, fucking love pizza. They got her to pepper some English in too, so that's like surreal enough. But to watch, Ray Narvaez, a streamer I enjoy, former Achievement Hunter refugee, big Yakuza guy. Like it took him a while, but I think he got into the series around the Zero Kiwami release, right?
Mhm.
And now he's like fucking sold. He's played all the games. He fucking loves Yakuza games. To watch him interact and like on screen be picking the motions is like, that's fucking wild. I know a lot of people were joking about him doing a collab, and Ray's response was, guys, I don't know if I could do a collab with a real life person who I like fake video game hit on. But like, it's surreal to see her, and she's coming back for Infinite Wealth. Also, by the way, there's another hilarious story. There's a major supporting character in Gaiden, kind of like your florist equivalent. She gives you a lot of the side quests. Akame, played by a real life actress, singer lady. She has a funny story. She also, without telling her agency, applied to that same hostess contest that Kei-san did.
Mhm.
While her agency was shopping her for the audition for the Sakame character. So, like, she got to live both dreams, and she's in it because she's a big fan as well. But yeah, so like, Yakuza's been doing a huge resurgence, and like, I think it's because Ryuga Gotoku has been fucking knocking it out of the park for several years now since they did those big ones. They have broken out as their own studio. They are rocking them and socking them, and I think it's well deserved. So yeah, they deserve this nomination. I don't know if you can beat the 7 hype. Like,
all right, so I'm gonna stop you make it right there because I wanted to say one thing before we got on, because
yes.
you're motor mouthing at the moment. But I do want to say, like, on the Yakuza thing, I do love it when celebrities like showcase their love for video games and other things like that, because then we get stories like this, and it always makes me feel a little bit better about the world. And not ever people who are famous or popular in their own rights are not these far off untouchable beings, because we can have the same interests. I just wanted to get off on my chest. Megan, what were you saying?
I was just wrapping up. Yeah, sorry, I think I'm getting a little loose tongued because I'm hungry for snacks.
I'm gonna be real. After this, it's all fucking esports.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll start.
And content creator of the year. I vote for Iron Mouse. Done. Mouse
fucking deserves it. She's great. I only watch clips, but it's good. Fucking click that shit. I hope she wins. She deserves it. Obviously, she can't show up in person, but Also, unlike most years, I don't think I recognize hardly any of these other fucking creators. I think I've heard Quackity before. That's it. Esports games, we all laugh as the esports scene continues to slightly implode. I think the Overwatch League is fucking dying as we speak. There is a funny note in Esports Coach.
Yep.
Because one of the nominees literally tweeted, "Lol, I did not fucking
coach anyone this year. Take me out."
Yeah.
It's the opposite. Take me out, coach.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just esports shit, which I get that the Game Awards wants to promote and keep going, because I think that the esports explosion was one of the things that did kind of help catapult this category. But yeah, it's a lot of stuff that I don't fucking recognize at all. So it's dunzo. Get out of here. And that's that. So I think then the only things we have left is Lucky say he want to talk about Nikkei.
I did. I got it out.
Okay, you got it.
I was mostly just bitching about
fair enough.
The crime.
I don't know if there's any more stuff you wanted to be in there, but okay. Then the other thing I think from this week to mention, because we have crossed the 3-hour mark.
Yay.
Our Game Awards shows are always long. Expect another, fucking 3 to 4 hour show when the awards actually happen. Because that'll be a whole thing, because there'll be new... We'll get to bitch about the awards, and there'll be new trailers and announcements to talk about.
I'm excited about the trailers.
I know it's unusual for us to request non-FGO comments, but feel free if you've listened this far, let us know what weird shit you think will happen, or your thoughts on the nominations in the comments below. Pump that engagement. But the only other thing is, I want to take a very brief detour, and I do say brief, to Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. It came out. Came out last night, technically, early morning. And, of course, like a freak that I am, I binged the whole thing immediately at 3 a.m. But Scott Pilgrim Takes Off is good. You will hear some blue check marks on Twitter who have problems with it. I would also say to avoid Twitter, to avoid first episode spoilers. It has a first episode twist. It is an adaptation. It is even more so than an adaptation, it is definitely like going into its own unique space for reasons that I can't get into because those are late story spoilers. But Scott Pilgrim Takes Off is phenomenally well made. It's great. It's like a really great production. Saru knocked it out of the park. The music is all really good. They had some indie bands actually guest for some stuff. They reused some songs from earlier. And just the general vibes are also Anamaguchi. All really good. I'm surprised, but like I want to say that for the most part, like all of our returning cast actors in English fucking killed it. Especially like I don't know if she's done other voice work, but Ramona's actress, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, fucking killing it. Like, there's just something about the way she delivers her lines. I want to say that, like, especially in the first episode, I had this comment with some of the trailers. There's some weird reads that they used from Michael Cera for Scott Pilgrim. I'm gonna chalk that up to, like, I think that must have just been, like, some weird direction, because, like, some of his deliveries are just so natural, and I'm like, Jesus, is this, when did the Scott Pilgrim movie come out? 2010?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, this is just 2010 again. Like, some of his deliveries are so natural and perfect, it's amazing, and there's some others that I'm like, somebody in the booth must have, like, asked him for, like, a weird read or to do something different than the movie take. I don't know. And fucking, oh my god. Chris Evans is great.
Oh, I'm so glad.
He sells his Lucas Lee voice the entire time. No, it's good. Everybody's great. The only, like, character I have questions about is Envy. They did get Brie Larson back. I don't know if it's just because of the direction this version of the story goes that she was, like, out of focus, or out of all of the cast, I think Brie Larson is one of the ones who is still the most busy. I know it's not doing well at the box office, but she was just in a major Marvel movie that came out not too long ago,
Oof.
The Marvels. So, like, I don't know if she's, like, busy with her life. I do kind of feel like Envy is a little underutilized. But like I said, that I'll talk more about that once Lucky's watched all of it, so we can talk about the discussion.
I don't know if I'll get it all tonight, but I'll try to get through it over the weekend.
They're about 30 minutes. They're not like TV, 22-minute sized episodes, so they can be a little chunky, but they're not long either. And it's only an 8-episode season. I'm kind of curious because they do a little bit of a sequel hook, but they do also wrap up like most of the plot threads from the season itself. So we've got room, but also we don't have to do a new one. So we'll see how that shakes out. But all in all, really great stuff. I actually want to do a second pass in Japanese because they got an amazing Japanese cast for this. Ramona's Japanese VA is Faruz Ai, who our FGO listeners will recognize as Seishonagun's voice actress, but also, like, she's fucking Jolene Cujo, so, like, she's doing stuff. And I really want to see how that goes. And get your memes out now, kids. Gideon Graves is Tomokazu Seki, aka Gilgamesh. We got fucking Gilgamesh's Gideon Graves. So I gotta hear how that fucking read goes. Like, no, and they got some other bangers in there. So I'm very curious how they handled it because, like, they got a really good cast. The script was done originally in English, and it was, all done with the fucking, blessing of Lee O'Malley himself.
Didn't he actually work on some of the script?
Yes, he's got a writing credit.
Yeah,
like he didn't write, like, I think every single line, but he spearheaded this adaptation. And we've talked about it before, but, like, I've been doing my usual, post game kind of carnage thing I like to do on a work, and, like, checking up on all the stories. And I'm sure we have mentioned it before, but this whole production is so wild. Like, the thing that gets me is because if people are gonna be like, "Oh, Netflix up the adaptation," no, Science Saru, they approached Brian Lee O'Malley through Netflix directly, right? Like, they approached him through Netflix as their intermediary because they were just coming off of Devilman Crybaby, which, obviously, if you ever want to hear we yelled about Devilman Crybaby for literally an hour. I'm pretty sure the old, almost all, except for the one weird one that gets all the views that confuses us, of the old anime power hours are up, so you can listen to me and Lucky yell about it from, like, oh gosh, that's a lot of years ago now. But Devilman Crybaby, it's a great work. Brian Lee O'Malley also likes Devilman Crybaby, so it's kind of like a, perfect match shit. This was in 2018 was when they approached him. And I know I saw somebody in our chat be like, oh, if Amazon Prime had gotten the award. No, I don't think they would have. But the reason why this took so long to get back was because everybody they approached said yes basically on day one. Like, everybody wanted to get into this, and I won't regurgitate the stories we've told of, like, how everybody got back into it, because it's hilarious, and you can find them already. But, like, almost, like, I think literally everybody from the movie was down to clown to reprise their roles. But they had to, since 2018, jump through all the hoops of everybody's agents and lawyers and contracts and shit, you know? Hell, when the fuck did Avengers Endgame come out? 2019? Yeah, so technically, like, Chris Evans still would have been super busy, you know? Like, obviously COVID happened as well, but, like, there were a lot of hoops to go through, but they got the people back, and all in all, I think it's a great experience. Like, the phrase I used was, Lucky, when you said that the whole production was kind of like a fever dream, right? But in a good way, I said,
yeah,
that's how I feel about this series after watching it. It's Scott Pilgrim, so it is weird, it is full of references, it is full of old-ass references nobody will get, but also, like, lots of meta references. There are a couple of Edgar Wright-related cameos hidden in there, and some other funny cameo voice actors that I won't spoil again. You know, but, like, it's real good. There's a lot of good stuff. There is some stuff that I can say, for instance, that are full of their little meta zingers. Like, at a moment, they're, you know, introducing you to Clash at Demon Head, and they do that by having an audience singing the song Black Sheep that was in the movie, like, while like Envy just holds up the mic to the crowd, which is a big power move, by the way. Very, very appropriately framed, but, like, it's got lots of little references like that. So if you're a fan of just the movie, or if you've just played the game, there's a lot of stuff. If you've read the comics, obviously there's more. I do want to say that I think they approach the adaptation very judiciously because it's only 8 episodes. They managed to make the characters spend a lot less time being assholes. Because, like,
good.
Scott Pilgrim is kind of a douchebag. At one point in the comic, he gets a subtitle which is Scott Pilgrim, sketchy ass 24-year-old. You know? Like, and, like, Ramona talks at length, both in the movie and the comic, about how, yeah, she used to be kind of a bitch, but she's trying to get over it, you know? Like, so they do a lot to make the characters, like, not linger in being shitty people as much, because they have more time to do shit. And, you know, we skip over some stuff. So it's like, I do think it's a cleaner adaptation, but it's real good. I'm sure we'll talk about it at length, you know, next week after we watched it. But it's good.
Yeah!
And like I said, I'm getting fucking hungry for snacks, and we're going for 3 hours. So if Lucky doesn't have anything else I've forgotten to bring up.
Nah, I'm good.
Okay, alright, cool. We'll get out of here, because now tomorrow I gotta fucking slam a jam the script for Wanted, because I have once again been blindsided. It's okay. We'll get out there. You guys will rep Roma. And I also got to catch up on my fucking Timecodes. So,
yeah, I'm opening FGO right now.
Yeah. The only thing I want to check out before I do full outro noise is the time for our Fanservant Friday poll has closed for this month. You can support us on Patreon at 5 and up later for the Fanservant Friday. Let me see who the winner is, because it's been a little bit since I checked. Oh, no, okay. So, we stuck it out, and Bel Gunnis, the Lonely Hearts Killer, is your winner.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, we'll have an interesting time. This one's a design I've had for a while, but it's a very interesting story. So, yeah, that'll be in a week or 2. So, yeah, now I will do the full outro.
Oh, Jesus.
Also, Gesundheit.
Thank you.
Anyway, if you want to give Lucky a Gesundheit, a God bless you, make sure to like this video. Give it a thumbs up on YouTube. You can also leave a comment in the comment section down below, or join our Discord, link in the description as always. Make sure to sub to our channel so you can get that sweet Wanted and other content we do, like streaming Final Fantasy VII Remake and Alan Wake 2. And if you're already subscribed, consider ringing that bell for notifications. You always know when we stream or release a new video. You can also join our channel memberships. Click that join button to get access to membership badges and emotes. And like I said at the beginning of the show and just now, you can also support us on Patreon. You can get access to the episodes early in audio format for as little as $1 a month or $10 a year if you want to take an annual membership. And you can get access to lots of other goodies like those topic polls, like early video releases, and other shenanigans. And that's all we've got for this week. We'll see you next time for more Let's Talk FGO.
Have a good evening, everyone.